You thought you heard some music? Well, here it is. A tune for you guys. John Martino and
I don't
Joe
like things with
Coltrane
pulse.
coming by with Cool Cat Caravan to spread some
Well,
joy.
hang on.
To spread some joy. Oh, John
So you see a
Martino
broom
and
hit
Joe
Gloomsworth in the
Coltrane
head and he will
coming
now
by
throw
to
the
take
bomb.
day
It was at this moment that he
maybe
knew.
for the first time,
He
but
fucked
That's what you're
hopefully not for the
alive.
last time. Oh,
Minecraft just used the wild magic.
For who?
Who for who, dude? Falgrim.
Oh no!
I didn't touch my penis. Come on. That's the longest 6 seconds I ever heard.
We have a giveaway going on, and it was for questions for this segment of the stream about D&D, and everyone who participated in that gets a chance to win this dice set. It's a Witcher dice set of Dandelion, the Bard, which is my favorite class in D&D. You get a chance to win that, and that is sponsored by Dicer, a Norwegian dice store, which I'm collaborating with, that I frequently get some discount codes for and such. And he sent this, he let me pick a dice set, whatever dice set I wanted. And this is a dice set I own myself. It's purple with gold trimmings. Purple is kind of a theme of the stream. And he sent this little message as well, this little note with the package for us. And it says, "Greetings, Cress. I congratulate thee on thy anniversary and pray for your continued safety and support. May the dice roll forever in your favor." So, we will be picking that giveaway winner at the end of this stream. And before that, let's have an introduction and start with you, Lebone. Who are you, and how did you get into Dungeons and Dragons, and how long have you been playing?
I was really like, hey, who are you?
I'm me.
I'm Lebone. I don't want to mention my real name here because of stalkers. I've been doing D&D for almost 6 years. I actually don't know, but I was introduced to D&D in the videregående. What is that in English?
High school? College?
High school, yeah. And a friend of mine wrote a story on a note, and he sent it to me, and he also had a dice, so I had to roll the dice and tell what I got, and then send a note back to him. And yeah, so that was kind of like a role-playing D&D thing, but I got into it like 6 years ago, I think, and I played that with what do we call the guy who Gloomsworth.
Equally, Stian.
Equally. Yeah, Stian. He was my first DM.
That is. Oh, I remember him telling about that adventure.
It was fun. It was fun. So yeah, 5-6 years I've been doing this a lot. I'm now a player in 2 campaigns, and I'm also running a game. So I'm playing 3 different games almost every week. So
Yeah.
that's fun.
That's fun. And who do you play in our campaign?
I play a Leaf in the Wind, a really relaxed, chill Tabaxi. He's a cleric now, no longer a rogue. He's actually a priest. He calls himself Father.
And he's not quite sure who this father is. It's a shifting thing.
Yeah, I'm playing a Leaf. He's a Tabaxi and he's a rogue cleric.
Yeah,
right now.
Amazing.
Rogue cleric.
Dude, who
Went on the run.
a lot of weird shit has happened to his character. And Mr.
Rogue cleric.
Casual, your turn.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, I'm Mr. Casual. I'm not sure how I got into D&D. I had a friend of mine who told me he was doing a thing for a weekend, so he couldn't hang out with me. I was like, "Oh, what are you doing?" And he said, "Oh, I'm playing D&D." And I was like,
Heard?
"What's that? Can I come?"
You had me at D.
I haven't had any D yet. And then I just forced myself into their group, and I've been playing since.
And you
this
thought you were going
was
for dick and dinner.
Steak and dinner. But no, it was nerds and snacks.
Same thing, different
It was, I
semantics.
think this is 14 years ago.
14 years, so you have a lot of experience.
Yes, the first edition I played was 3rd edition, I think. And then we moved over to 3.5. And then, just for fun, we tried a little bit of 2nd edition, which was a nightmare.
Yeah, so you went back to 2nd edition.
Yes. We tried to find the 1st edition too, just because it sounded fun. No.
Jesus.
But we didn't find any way to play it, so we didn't.
Well, you've been playing, and then this is also a thing that is kind of frustrated me, just because Libone here, he was my fadder. What do we say? They call that in English. When I went to university, he went to the year before me, so that is how we got to know each other. And Ecolai was also in that group. He called me Ottar because he never remembered my name. We had this game in the beginning of the school where we had to say your name and then an animal on the same letter as your first letter in your name. And I picked Otter. And that's how I became Ottar. And we had that whole year. And we were both nerds and we did not play Dungeons and Dragons together.
It's weird.
That is very weird. There's no
Yeah.
sound alerts for the donations. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, we also went to school with each other for like a year, and we didn't play.
Yeah, we went to fucking community college at Folkehøyskole together and we didn't play. We played a lot of other stuff though. I nuked you in Civilization a lot. That was
There was.
one of my favorite gamer
I
moments.
remember that rage quit to this day. Oh my god. I'm so
My
mad.
rockets! My space project! Why?
I had no soldiers, and suddenly 4 nations stood at my borders.
And your girlfriend funded it.
Yep.
At the time.
Hey.
Thank you so much for the donations, cosplay. I don't know why I didn't say it, but I'm gonna read it out for you. I'm gonna be a mighty king, so enemies beware. Well, I've never seen a king or beast with quite so little hair. I'm gonna be the main event, like no king was before. I'm brushing up on looking dawn. I'm working on my roar. Oh, I'm gonna be a mighty king. Took me way too long time.
Yeah.
So enemies
Yeah,
beware.
wow.
That took me way too long. I'm working on my roar and I just can't wait. I just can't wait to be king. Sorry. That would be such an amazing sound alert. I don't know what that doesn't work. But yeah. That is and you are also very you have been a dungeon master for some time as well, right?
Yes. I'm currently... I have a Norse campaign, a homebrew campaign that I'm doing that I currently have on break.
Ah, the breaks.
Just so, I don't burn myself out.
Yeah. I had 4 groups at the time and last year.
That's a
I
lot.
had. Yeah.
It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work, but this is such a fun hobby to have, but you can get a bit lost in it as well. So know your limits.
Yep.
Yep.
Crow,
Hello.
your turn.
So should I answer in crow speech?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you still have the speak on animals active, don't you?
Yeah. So you have to speak horse this entire evening. No, but yeah, I don't know how long ago I started playing D&D. Probably 5 years, 6 years ago, I think. First we started playing Pathfinder, actually.
Oh, yeah.
That was the gateway in.
Heard great things about that as well.
Yeah, and then one of my friends, he just bought every D&D book available because we should play D&D, he figured. And you, Crow, you're gonna be the leader. But,
You're gonna
I
be the
guess.
leader. Wow.
So I had to learn how to DM on the fly.
Well,
And,
no pressure.
yeah, that it worked out fine. Improvisation is key, right?
Yeah, oh yeah.
So we started playing the Lost Mines of Phandelver campaign.
Great
because
starter
that's
campaign.
the easiest introduction, right?
And it's a great starter campaign for
Just,
anyone trying to get into Dungeons and Dragons. It's for free now on D&D Beyond.
Yeah, it is actually. Well, it's. I found the standard version of it kind of boring, so I started editing it already on my first go. So
As you
here we go.
should.
Yep.
Homebrew is
And
key.
yeah. Currently, I'm playing in this campaign and another campaign, and have a break from DMing at the moment while trying to build my own setting.
And adult life in general always gets in the way.
Yeah, when you work as much as I do, I don't have time to do anything.
Now, what do you do for a living?
I work as a teacher, about 140%.
140%
And-
as average, yeah.
Yeah. And I'm saying yes to everything because I'm too stupid to say no.
You're a yes man.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Labona, you are also a kindergarten teacher.
I'm a kindergarten teacher.
Same. And Mr. Casual, you just got to work in, oh my god, like such an awesome work, job at,
I just sell beer.
he sells beer.
I talk to old people. I sell beer.
But it's the best fucking beer shop in the country, though.
Yeah, it is.
It's amazing. And yeah, we're all very much nerds in all aspects of the name and creative people. And let's give a little... Labone, you used to stream.
Yeah.
But are you done with it, or are you long break, or do you ever think you can get back into it?
No.
No.
No. It's fun to stream, but it's also so stressful, and
A lot of work.
Grown-up life and 3 D&D groups and all
Etc.
other projects.
Yeah.
So, no. No, that's no.
no,
Yeah.
no. Hell
I
no.
want to, but no.
no, nobody know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you also you just started like drawing, or you're probably drawing for a while, but then you really picked up the drawing and painting for a while.
Yeah, for like 1 month maybe now.
I really
don't
like
know.
your style.
Oh, thank you.
It's
It's
good.
really fun. I don't know how to paint or draw, so it's really fun to actually see some. Oh, dude, I actually made this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
And
it's quite cool
you're just being
to
creative
do
in it.
stuff like that.
And usually when you're like not an expert at that, you get your own, as you can, egen strek, own line, own.
I don't know yet. I'm just drawing a lot of krusedull, and then I make something out of that. That's my style.
That's great.
Most of the
Me and
time.
a few friends actually painted the jellyfishes.
Yeah.
Started doing that with aquarelle painting and everything.
I love painting
It's
it.
kind of cool.
And painting. Before we do that, Galactic Blue, thank you so much on the gift, on the sub. Congratulations on your year, brother. Glad to meet you through plastic. Same, dude. Same. And that's what I love about Twitch, meeting all these people all over the world. Thank you so much for sub, dude, and welcome. Now we'll get to learn something about D&D. But yeah, D&D is it can be a pit to. What does
It's a never-ending story.
yeah, it is never-ending story. When you first start, like when I got adult money the year after, I've been playing. Okay, it's my turn again, I guess. You know who I am, so I don't have to go into that. But I started Dungeons and Dragons. Like I had some friends from way before that was like, especially one friend after he started university and I went to folk high school and stuff. And when we met up at home, he had gotten really into role playing. But he was playing something called GURPS. If anyone here has tried that.
Oh, yeah, I've heard about this.
Yeah, and GURPS, it was great, but it's a lot more advanced than Dungeons and Dragons. A lot more advanced. Because like you had to, there was like, it's just like Fallout. It was like percentages and where you could hit the body, and it was just so much getting into it. It's way more than Dungeons and Dragons. GURPS.
GURPS.
Yes, GURPS.
We're talking about the game called Mutant for a second.
Yeah. There's a lot of like different RPGs, and some of them are like super advanced. And for people who just love that kind of shit, it was good. He loved it, but it was a bit hard to getting into. And then, so I got like a bit. No, this is not for me, I thought. But I loved role playing. I was at a theater group as a youth. I loved like acting and being in role play as a kid and stuff. So I really missed that element growing up. And then when I moved to Trondheim in 2015, I moved into collective. What do you call it in English? A place with a lot of people living together. We were 7 people living. There was the guy called Thomas, who became a very good friend of mine. And he was in a D&D group, so they used to play D&D in the living room there. And I started watching them. And after a while, we started playing together. And at that time, we were all pretty new, and we didn't have any miniatures or anything. We used like dices for the miniatures for the enemies and whatever we could find. We used Monopoly figurines and all, whatever we could find. And you don't need the miniatures. You don't need all this expensive stuff. You just need a sheet of paper and a pen, really, and dice. That's all you need. And that's how it started. I fell in love with it. I was a player then for for most of the years. But I've always been a storyteller growing up. I've loved telling stories. I love going deep down in stories, how stories are made. So the Dungeon Master aspect was also always very alluring to me. And so I started DMing myself the second year on university, which should have been the year me and LeBone started playing together. And yeah, when the first time I DM'd like that feeling, I've never looked back. I just love.
Terrifying, though.
It's terrifying, and it's so it can be so terrifying getting into, because you had to learn so much, and I hate reading up and rules and stuff.
You don't have to learn anything; just have fun.
Yeah. But when you start, you feel like you have to do that. As a totally new DM, you feel like it's so much you need to learn. You have to know all the rules now, and have to know how to make a good story.
I think I opened the the Dungeon Master book like 2 times, and that's only to look up the madness list.
That explains you. That's just the essence of you, dude. That's perfect. Of course you did. Oh, that's amazing.
Don't tell my players.
And you never opened it since. Yeah, but really, you have that. I can go get the books, actually. You have like a core set of books.
I have them all on D&D Beyond.
Or D&D Beyond.
D&D Beyond.
Sponsor us, D&D Beyond.
I used a lot of money buying books before I started using D&D Beyond. And ever since I did, a lot of people are like, they like having physical things, but D&D Beyond is just so good. Mm-hmm. You can search things up, don't look through entire pages. But I got this core set, for anyone who loves stuff like this though. They're in grins. They're shiny as well.
Oh,
but you got
they're
your DM,
holographic?
you got a DM screen with a lot of the rules. This DM screen is very nice.
Yeah.
This
There's
is
all the
very
cheat sheets on the inside.
This thing is what keeps you away from the Dungeon Master book. This is a very
I'm not
good.
using that either.
This is a very good screen to have to check up a lot of stuff. And
but the text is too small, and that's actually a problem.
that is true because you're sitting like this. Speaking as a player in the LeBone campaign, I can sign under the fact that he is an example that you don't have to know all of the rules to DM. No, you. As Crow said, the ability to improvise is the most important skill. Come up with shit on the fly. But in this core set, you get the Dungeon Master's book, it's a very good book for players who wants to delve deep into that. You get the monster manual. The monster manual is really good. You need this book. This is the book you need. Or you don't need it, but it's a very good. I love it. You don't need anything really. You just need a set of dice,
Player's
pen and
handbook
paper.
is actually something you need.
But this is
Yeah.
something you need.
yeah.
This is the
Yeah.
of the core books. This is the one you need. This is where you get to, as a player, how to create your character, and the rules. And yeah, you need this one. This is the only one you really need. But they're like 500 kroners plus each book. Super expensive. So D&D Beyond is what I've been using. And what's also great about D&D Beyond, and we're not sponsored in anything, I'm just saying this as a preference. When I buy things on D&D Beyond as a dungeon master, I can, or a player as well, I can share my books. In the campaign, I can share all my content to my players. And I have all the source books. There you can buy bundles with the source books and stuff. And have it all. So you can share it among you. So no, you don't have to buy them all, and every player have to buy all the books and stuff. Anyways, that is how we got into D&D, and ever since I've used way too much adult money on it. I started painting miniatures. That was a lot of fun. Haven't painted in 1.5 years now. Should get back into that. Maybe we'll do some painting stream at some point. But yeah, and since COVID came, especially, we've been playing digitally, and I wanted to start streaming it, and here we are. That is how I met these awesome people, like Mr. Casual, been a friend for a long time, Labonus been a friend for a long time, Crow, he was a guy from Netherlands, because I went in there and asked if anyone wanted to join.
Talked about, hey, I'm thinking about streaming a D&D campaign. Anyone want to join? I said, yeah, fuck no. Why not?
Yeah.
I'm in. I like it.
And ever since then, like, you become a good friend of mine. So that's the beauty of nerds, societies, and Dungeons and Dragons. So now I like kind of forget about that you were just like the random one.
Yeah. I'm the odd one out.
But yeah, they've all been friends of mine. We became a group together, and the only main reference they had was me, except for LeBone and Nikolai though. But I don't feel like that when we are in a group together and as players when we're playing in campaign. It's such a good dynamic. Yeah, let's move on a little bit and delve into the questions. Do you guys have the document up as well?
Nope.
No.
Yes, I'm blinded by it.
And there's a reason why I ask, because I know my players.
I mean, I just assumed that this was going to be like a talk show where you're Stephen Colbert. I'm Jim Carrey.
Okay.
You're Jim Carrey.
Casual brag.
What happened to you?
You two can be whoever you want to be.
Which cameras do I need to refresh here? There we go. Well, I'm gonna post pick the questions. We have marked someone out for this stream, and since this is the first stream, we will be focusing on questions that is about how do you get into all of this universe of Dungeons and Dragons, because that is what we've been seeing of you, the community. Watching the stream, it's gonna like be hard to watch the stream because you don't really understand what's going on with all the rules and the combat especially, and that is something we want to do something about. So we'll be going through these questions now. They're at the end of the document for you guys if you're watching it. So we have one question here, and we've been talking a little bit about it already, I guess, but I want to DM, but I'm afraid of it. Any tips? And this was an anonymous question.
I have tips that I use if no one have anything else.
Yeah.
And that is basically just don't think of it as you're now writing a campaign to play or something. Just make a world, and the rest will sort itself out. Don't care about the rules yet.
Yeah.
Don't bother yourself with the details of it all. Just create a story that you think is good, and the rest will happen.
That is important. That you think that tell the story you want to tell.
Yes.
Don't tell the story that your
No.
players want, because you have to have some interest in telling it yourself. It will show as a DM if you're like telling a story you don't too interested in yourself and telling.
Well, it's also it's not like tell the story you want to tell, because the players are the one telling the story.
Oh yeah.
That makes sense. So
Not a story, but the
you-
world.
you make a story that you want someone else to tell.
Yeah.
what I mean?
Make a world for them to live in, and then make their own stories in it.
Yes.
But the world building
Yeah.
part at the beginning of it, that's a job you have to do as a DM.
It is. Unless you try to run the modules that later from the Wizards of the Coast
Yeah, and
D&D. And then there's quite a lot of modules, and some of them are way easier to run as a first-time DM than others.
yeah.
And some usually just stay the fuck away from forever and never run.
Yeah.
Even as a seasoned
I
DM.
had never played a module before now when we play Curse of Strahd. I've never played a module before. We always played the homebrew campaigns. So Curse of Strahd is actually my first module. But I've also, Ecolai, the other player who's been playing with us, he started DMing last year. Or 1.5 years ago now, and he started with the Lost Mines of Phandelver, which is made as a starter campaign for level from 1 to 5 or something. And it's so simple. It's so simple that you don't, as a player, you don't even have to make your own character. This is like an adventure. You can bring some entirely new friends, go to the cabin. And it has pre-made characters. You can just give them the character sheets. They don't have to do anything really to start this
it's
campaign.
really simple.
It's so easy.
Yeah, easy story to tell. Easy story to fill in your own stuff. You have everything you need in that one. So if you're like very new to it, the whole idea of creating your own world feels a bit intimidating.
It's a safe one to go to. And then you can also supply with the Essentials kit if you want to branch it out a little more to get more things to do in the world.
Yeah, and it's set in Faerun, the Forgotten Realms, which is like the biggest, most expanded part, I guess, of the Dungeons and Dragons lore and universes. So if you want to go from there, it's like a beginning adventure. When you're done with that, you can continue exploring the world and do whatever you want. And there's a lot of modules.
One of the first campaigns I ever played as was a player in, we started playing the Lost Mines of Phandelver, and then we went into the Ghosts of Saltmarsh campaign, and from there into a homebrew version in the Feywilds.
Nice.
Cool.
So, yeah.
Yeah. I will just say, fuck the rules and just have fun with your players. Make a world, make something. Maybe political if you're into that, or something other threatening stuff. Like I'm playing Humblewood now. That's a 5D edition D&D, but it's not in Faerun. It's in Humblewood with cute small animals. And I thought the story in that book was a little bit like it's interesting, but it's not interesting enough. So I let that be a thing in the world, but I also have my own thing going on. And then I see where the players are going. If they don't choose to follow that the fire is burning away all the homes and stuff, then I'm like, okay, but then there's no homes. And if they are following the other line, then that's what's gonna happen there. So just have fun and don't stress too much, actually.
Yeah.
That the key part of Dungeons and Dragons is having fun.
It is. And you can always also start with what we call a one-shot. Like it's a small adventure that takes like 1 or 2 sessions maybe at most to run through. It's a simple thing. Maybe some goblins have kidnapped the blacksmith's daughter and you have to rescue her.
Yep. And yeah, that is like as a start adventure, you don't and as me starting adventure, I started with creating the first thing I made was a start location. They start at this house and they're sitting. This is where they start, and then I made some NPCs for that place, like who is running this store or this tavern. Then I made some random NPCs for like the guests, and then like okay, this tavern is placed in a small town. Started with a small town and then build from there, and as you go, and it, of course it helps to have like some you have an idea what the campaign is gonna be, like who's the main bad guy or something like that you can pull from. But if you do start small, you will see where your players go. Where is their interest? What kind of story do they want? You will save yourself a lot of time and trouble, and like as a DM, like if you plan everything out and beforehand, you have the story written out, you will get very frustrated when the players are not interested in it.
Very
Yep.
true.
And
Well, I think it's
I also
interesting-
have.
No, go on.
Okay, can I? Okay,
Yeah,
you? No, me.
Okay.
Sly Flourish got some really good books for DMing. The Lazy DM. Just check it out. It's good. It's the only thing I'm using. I'm not using the Dungeon Master book because it's heavy. It's a lot of scripts. And that Lazy DM. He's a Lazy DM, and I want to be a Lazy DM too. So check it out. Do it.
Your leaf is showing.
No, that's not Leaf. That was Stone.
That was his plugging voice.
His brother. That was his brother.
The fault. The brother. Yeah, but post
It
some
was the
links.
branch.
Post some links to that, Labone, in the role playing channel, in our Discord, or in the Twitch chat here now, if you can find any. First rule of improv: yes and yes, yes and.
You can certainly try.
That is, you can certainly try, but you don't have to use that line either. It's.
Yeah.
But yes.
And also, be prepared that they don't have to succeed at everything a player wants to do. It's fun when they fail as well.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
players, players also like to fail at times, because that would it makes it more right. Yeah, we do.
Well.
No one wants to play a superhero. Then we would play video games.
Well, some people want to play a superhero. There is always one.
Yeah, there's always the guy.
Oh,
No,
that
but I
guy.
agree with you. Failure is the best storyteller.
Indeed.
But
And
what I was gonna say was, what did you say, Cress, about what do you start with when you write a campaign?
I start with the place they start. Where does the adventure start at? Like let's be classic and start here in the tavern. Start with the tavern. And where do the players meet each other? Like just a meeting point. And then who is living in this place? Who is running the tavern? Start with the innkeeper. That is usually like the first person players interact with. And then like what's within these four walls of this small little tavern, and then build from there the city, the village, or whatever it is, steps by
Can I
steps.
suggest something to you?
Mm-hmm.
Something I found really fucking easy. Start with the bad guy. Start
Yeah.
with the boss battle. Because it's so easy to write a story around either if you're fighting a demon, for example, or a particular type of humanoid. It is so easy to just write the story around the end goal.
Yeah. As I said, you should have some idea where this story ends, because the worst cases of anything we've seen in popular culture, Star Wars Episode 9, you see when they haven't had an idea of where it will end. Like they don't know who the main bad guy is gonna be. Like, oh shit, that it was Palpatine all along. So yeah, have an idea of who the bad guy is definitely good advice.
Because one of the creatures I like the most is a creature called the Bone Devil.
Oh, I love Bone Devils. Lethal
It's
as
not-
fuck.
It's not a interesting creature by any means. It doesn't do anything in particular, but it's such a great visual monster. And writing a story around that, it's so easy.
It's a terrifying monster.
Yes.
Terrifying monster, yes.
But it doesn't do anything, does it? It doesn't have any unique abilities.
It's pretty fucking. It's got a that stinger it got is. It was one of the first, like in my homebrew campaign, a Bone Devil. Oh, that was such an awesome encounter as well. Like just merging. They Bone Devils are born in places of mass murder, usually, or where a lot of corpses are. That is how I made it. They just came to a scene of a battlefield or something where like a terrible misdeed had happened, and then a bone devil just formed out of the dead corpses. My players were terrified, and it was a dangerous monster, for sure.
I used them like a.
Let me see. Here they are, the bone devil.
My players found like an old temple, and I made it to be like very Mines of Moria. You know, the Great Hall where they meet the Balrog for the first time.
Oh yeah.
And I made the scene like, instead of goblins climbing down the pillars, I made bone devils climb down the pillars in mass.
Oh god, dear lord, that is terrifying.
It was.
That is when you say, "Run or fly, you fools!"
Oh, you.
Yeah.
And they're, what CR are they? 7?
They are. Let me see. Yeah, they're dangerous.
Pretty up there.
He's a bad boy.
Yeah.
Bone Devil. Oh, that is
There's
also
CR9.
great things about the D&D Beyond. You can just search it up real quick and you get all you need.
I think they're CR9.
Devil Bone. Devil Bone. Bone
Actually.
Devil.
9? Are they? Oh my god, I was horrible then.
You were. They're lethal. These guys are bad.
Ooh, that was a shit DM.
Look at these guys. These are the stats for it.
Am I the asshole?
You are. But
Oh, no.
that is the
It's your
well-known.
players that didn't run from them.
It's
Oh no, they run.
it's easy.
Look at this.
Fly.
Yeah, armor class 19. It has a pretty high AC as well. So if you introduce that, but 142 hit points. It's got 40 feet speed, both on ground and he has a fly speed of 40 as well. He has a devil's sight, so magical darkness doesn't impede the devil's dark vision. So if you pair this guy up with the darkness ball,
And he has advantage on saving throws against magic spells.
Yeah, magic
And
resistance.
his resistance to every
3
non-magical
attacks, 2 with its claws,
Great.
1 with its sting. The sting has a reach of 10 feet. The claw has a reach of 10 feet. It's a +8 to hit.
He's very beefier than I last remember him, but
It can poison you. Damage immunities. This is a dangerous guy.
oh my god.
So for a
Is immune
one
to
shot,
fire.
this guy can be a BBG
Yeah.
Oh,
for sure.
Any demon or devil could be, really.
Yeah,
yeah. Good.
terrible guy. Like my barbarians,
Yeah.
Cardis and Bactus, who collect teeth of their enemies. The urge of wounded enemy and Oh my god, that's a great concept. Stealing
I'm
that.
gonna use that. I'm so gonna. Kiwi, don't read that. I'm gonna use that in the campaign. Like, no shit.
That
Oh
is.
my
Yeah,
God,
that's a great one.
Oh
have
my
to-
god,
you have
that's
to have the tooth
awesome.
fairy in there
You
somewhere.
blinded good.
Okay, let's look at some more questions, shall we?
Yes.
Well, we've been talking about how we got into D&D, so we probably went into that's one of the how do you get into D&D? We told our stories about getting into them, but I've been lucky having friends around me that are geeks and I was drawn into it like that, but
Yeah.
not everyone is that lucky.
No, but
Not everyone have friends.
But there's a
Well-
lot of meeting points in cities. There's like forums
there
on the
is.
internet where you can find playing groups.
Yeah, Facebook.
Yeah, there's a lot of
and-
things.
Discord communities,
Yeah, people
Yeah.
search for players all the time.
and
know.
we've been having a lot of like Dandelion Witchers here today. I've met Crowhair. I went out in Dandelion Witchers, one of the Discords and role playing group there. Hey, I'm starting this campaign. Does anyone want to join? So yeah, we've been into that. So let's check how. Oh, and also answer this question then. How do I find people to play with? And that was a question
you
from
kidnap
Crime.
them.
Kidnapping. It's an option. You can certainly try.
You force
It would be
them.
a
No.
very enjoyable
Roll a sleight of hand.
playtime for everyone
But I
else.
think also D&D is kind of the game that if people try it, they would more often like it than they won't, because
Yeah.
you have this illusion that it is something else than it really is because of pop culture and
Yeah.
satanic rituals and everything from back in the days.
Yeah. Definitely in the 80s. Like, did you guys start watching Stranger Things or Stranger Things in general? But Stranger Things season 4, they get into the age where D&D was it's satanic.
Yep.
So
It's funny. But let's see. We've answered a couple of. What is your? Okay, let's do this. And another one of Crime's questions.
I wanna
What
say one more
is?
thing. One good way to find players in this day and age, or find DMs or anything, is on Roll20. It's a very good site to find people.
you can find a lot of things there.
And
Both
here
games and everything.
And
There's
here
a lot
we
of bad
have
influence.
Cosplay. He came up with a site here. D&D.no is an own site. And you probably have sites like these all over the country, all over the world. So Google
I don't.
Google is your friend.
I don't speak Thunder, so.
Yeah, it's a kind of weird dialect.
D&D Bergen har underkjent.
Yeah, but in Bergen you just go to Outland and you'll find everything. It's fine.
Yeah, Outland, like game shop, local game shops, workshops. They do a lot of great stuff for this. House of Nerds in Oslo, work here in Trondheim. Yeah, they have Outland in Oslo has this huge dedicated
if
part
you
with the
are
tables
like
and stuff.
me, that are living in the northern part of Norway at the moment, then you're fucked because there's nothing up here.
Godforsaken country. You chose it.
Yeah. The country doesn't exist north of Trondheim anyways, so it's fine.
Yeah.
Oh, is it a part of the imaginary country of Finland?
Yeah. Yeah, no. But it is. You can often find
And you also have like
interested persons and everything.
if you like you also have the option if you can get a friend to be the DM. There are paid DMs out there.
There are.
Like Cosplay, VS Cosplay here. He's a paid DM. He started. He works in SFU, youth and child worker, and he had this. He talked about this in his interview today. He started after this after school project with his kids playing D&D, and you know that thing was only for up to 4th grade, and after they finished 4th grade, the parents got a little bit distraught because like the kids just kept talking about D&D. They wouldn't go into football. They wouldn't do anything else. They just wanted. And then their parents are like, "What are we gonna do? Can we pay you?"
Awesome.
Yeah, that is
So
awesome. And now,
Yeah,
like
good.
he's been doing that. How many years have you been doing that now? We Club. We've been doing it for in the same group, like since they were in 4th grade, and now, how old are they now? Cosplay, 12, 13 years old. It's the same group. Started out with 14 kids, and you have that for adults as well.
Yep.
That would be the dream, though. Paid DM. Holy crap! I do a lot of work as a DM, and I don't get paid for it. So.
I wish I was brave enough or had enough confidence in my abilities as a DM to take payment for it.
Yeah.
Right.
That's also something.
I could easily take payment for it if I.
I mean,
The pay is all
I'm
the
shameless.
love you get from your players.
Right.
Yeah, but every player hates their DM anyway, so it's fine.
Whoa.
Oh,
Whoa.
they
Whoa.
No, we don't.
Whoa.
No, we don't.
No.
Okay, wait. I'm just gonna.
No.
Okay, Hey, thank you so much for resub, Scumbag Bell. With a Prime as well. So I prepared for this, players. In the case you guys said something like this, so I'm gonna take up this note I have with the super lethal encounters that I've been saving.
Yes.
For what?
Nothing. Don't you mind that.
Yeah, I'm just the most chaotic idiot that you can find in a D&D party. So.
I'm not sure.
I
You're
relish
in
that.
good company. You're in good company.
I mean, I think this group might be the group that stays the longest time in small places doing nothing.
Hey, you do a
And
lot of
at the
shit.
same time,
Barovia.
and at the same time, they're doing everything.
Doing so much sucks. I love it. Yeah. You're not burning content, that's for sure. But you're not burning content, but you're making great content.
Yeah.
I might be a bit biased, but you know. I'm very fortunate with my players as a DM, so you make DMing easy. What is your favorite spell in D&D? This is a question from Crimecraft.
This one is so boring, but I love Wish.
Oh my god, it's such a
It's a
powerful
good
spell,
one.
though.
It's so fun. No, but it's so fun if you get it from.
I've never
Wish.
actually.
Okay, I can tell you guys about Wish. Wish is a spell where the player can say, "Hi, I want the world to turn around," and the world will turn around.
When you wish upon a star.
If the wish is good though, if you get it from a deck of many things, then something crazy.
Oh
can
yeah.
happen.
Oh, wild magic.
And yeah, it's such a fun thing for me as a DM to give wish spell to my players because they are using it and I can like fuck it up so much I want. It's so fun.
Yeah, it is a fun spell. I like wild magic in general as well. It's so much fun, isn't it, guys?
Yeah. Yeah, well,
Like, did your
it's a lot
face
of fun
freeze
to
up
do.
like that, or are you actually holding that pose?
I'm holding that.
Holy fuck, that was that was impressive.
There we go.
That's a
You
clip.
don't remember that episode where I
Oh, I haven't changed my topic to Dungeons and Dragons actually. Fuck. Rookie mistake. I'm still learning.
I'm still learning.
no, but wish is a great spell.
It's a good spell. It is.
It's so great.
Fuck
I,
yeah.
I need a new beer, so you guys talk.
Yeah. Discuss, Mr. Cash. What's your favorite?
You have the spell I like the most, and then you have the spell I use the most. The spell
Yes,
I use the most is invisibility.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great spell.
Invisibility is a great spell.
It does a lot of things. It does a lot of things. It gives you a lot of advantages. The spell I like the most, and I prefer the spell to be targeted at me. It's Polymorph. Only because the spell dictates that you get the intelligence score of the creature you become.
Yes.
And I really lean into this. So
As you should.
I have a story.
Mm-hmm.
from
Story
not too
time.
long- From not too long ago when I played D&D, where we were infiltrating the castle of a group of air giants, or it's called wind giants, air giants,
Air Giants, I think. Yeah.
because they had captured a dragon, and the dragon was our friend, and we were going to release them.
Good game. Capture the giant.
So we had a druid with us, and the druid turned into a bird and cast polymorph on me because we were doing the scouting. And the bird I got, I mean, birds don't have very high intelligence score in D&D. So I get curious, asked the bird, flew into the castle, and got swatted by a giant with his club. And turned back to myself, and there was a whole thing about, now I was captured, the druid tried to come in and save me, we tried to negotiate, but that didn't work. So we got beat up so hard, we were actually afraid of losing our characters, and all the other players had to sit outside and not know what was going on.
Did you mean Storm Giant?
Storm Giant, yes.
Storm Giant, these guys. Yeah, I've never played. I never gotten to play along to play or use giants that much.
So that's why I like Polymorph, because the chaos that can happen from it, and almost
Polymorph.
ending
Oh
shit
my
that I can
god.
do.
Polymorph has caused so much chaos in my my campaigns. It's beautiful and true polymorph. Holy crap! A lot of chaos. But yeah, Crow, what is your favorite?
Ooh. Well, I think one of the best spells in the whole of D&D is Bless. Actually.
Oh yeah, that's a good spell.
Because it's just insane that you can give that much extra on both attacks and saving throws. Roll. But the thing I like the most is a combination play between what is it called? It's comprehend languages and minor illusion.
Oh, minor illusion is great.
Because then what you can do is that you can cast comprehend languages on yourself to understand whatever someone speaks, and you can use minor illusion to translate it to anyone else.
You can. Holy crap.
So you're a walking subtitle. basically.
Walking subtitle. That is amazing. Control of Water is in chatter. VQK's Control of Water is also damn good. The Control of Water is very shape water.
Yeah.
Like those skills are
Of course, you have the
underappreciated.
classics like counter spell and everything that are the classic spells and fireball, of course. They're the classic spells for a reason, right? But I think I like spells where you can use your creativity to find new and stupid stuff to do with them.
Yep.
Yeah. Curse and VS Cosplay's Healing Spirit. Healing Spirit is it's not a strong healing spell at all, but it's such a nice RP
changed
spell.
it then?
They nerfed it because it was broken.
Yeah, it was broken. So they did
Yeah,
nerf
it was.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I only remember the broken version.
It's basically a little heal buff for fun, but it's a cute RP. Like it's basically like a little Patronus from Harry Potter, as well. Let's buy some followers, prime some viewers on my stream store. Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, let's go.
Let's purge that guy. Force field is my favorite.
Oh, that's a good one.
I don't think I've dabbled too much in that one.
And I also, at the moment, I like the spike growth and then using forced movement to just make a cheese grater. That's also quite
Yeah. I think one of my favorite spells, which is like I think is one of the best spells in Dungeons and Dragons, especially in the early game, or actually whenever, Healing Word. It's a ranged healing spell with a 60 feet range. It's an amazing spell, and it's a bonus action, isn't it? I think it's a bonus action.
Yes.
As well.
Yeah, it is.
It's a bonus action, and it's got range. A lot of healing spells are touch or effects on the end of turn or start of turn, like healing spirits and stuff. Healing Words is one of the most powerful spells, and then you have mass healing words. It's like it doesn't heal much, but if your teammate is down, Healing Word gets him back up.
Yeah.
And that could be all you need to win an entire encounter. So that is one of the best spells. Favorite spells.
That's boring.
The best. What do you say?
What's your actual not boring answer?
Yeah. I was getting into it now. I love oh my god, what's it called? Vicious Mockery.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
That's a good one.
Absolutely.
Vicious Mockery, and like every kind of bard spells.
And Witch's Mockery is so fun because you if you're following the rules really strict, you need a feather and a cupcake. Isn't that, no, yeah, is that one? Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't it that one?
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
So.
So you have to walk around. Your character need to walk around with a feather and a cupcake or something, and make
and
funny
say-
jokes or whatever,
Yeah.
and get people to
Hurts
laugh.
people feelings. Yeah.
It's so great.
Vicious Mockery is amazing.
Thanks. The spell that I like even more than Vicious Mockery is Hideous Laughter.
Hideous
Yeah,
Laughter as
that's
well.
what I
No,
Hideous Laughter
it was
is
hideous
great.
laughter. It was hideous laughter. Sorry.
Yeah, Hideous Laughter is amazing as well. I love all those.
I have I've had DMs who hated me because I made them have to laugh with like insane fucking monsters and come up with
Yeah.
a laughter for them.
Let's see, Harry. You unleash a Vicious Mockery. You unleash a string of insults laced with subtle enchantments at a creature you can see within range, and the range is 60 feet. It's quite long range. If the target can hear you, though it need not understand you, it must succeed. So you can be in another language and you still get hurt. It must succeed in a Wisdom saving throw or take 1d4 psychic damage, which is that's not a lot of damage, but it gets disadvantage on the next attack roll it makes before the end of its next turn, which is very good. And this is a cantrip. You can use it as much as you want. You don't use a spell slot for it. So it's a very good
It was
cantrip.
It was the hideous laughter that had to have tiny tarts and a feather.
Nice.
And my players used it all the time. I think they actually got the dragon to laugh because of that. So,
Hideous
Yeah,
laughter.
you
Yeah,
can do a lot of things.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's
And
good
you have
to use
Tasha's
some legendary
hideous laughter as
resistances.
well, don't you?
it's
Yeah.
the same thing basically.
Yes, same.
It's pretty modified or whatever.
Or you can also do a lot of funny shenanigans with putting spells into Bag of Holding and shit.
Oh, bag of holding. When you get to items.
By the way,
What's that spell where you can put any spell on an item? Like a trap, basically.
yeah, I forgot the name of it. Blah, blah, blah.
Because doesn't that make it so like you can put every day you can put one spell on an item or something, and if you have like a book, you can put a fireball on each page of the book once a day,
Technically, yeah.
and then you can throw the book, and it opens, and 100 fireball goes up at the same time.
There's also these necklaces where you have the small beads, and every one of those is a fireball technically, and you can just chuck the whole necklace, and it's like 15 fireballs worth of damage.
Pearl of Power, Electrical says. Could it be? But we discussed something real funny in one of my groups, which you have like the druids, who can basically, for some of the spells, summon a mass of animals. And it's at a point you see within range. And at higher levels, you can summon quite a lot of creatures and heavy creatures. So you could basically make a rain of cows. And we read up in this one story where they killed the BBEG by raining cows down upon them.
That's nice.
It's just rain because a cow dropping off. Cows are heavy creatures, and raining cows. That's well for your animal. It's not animal friendly. It could be so trigger alerts for that. It's a late trigger alert, but but holy cow, that works. So I have this one character. He's just everything he does as a character. He's just building up to that one moment by killing Strahd by raining cows down upon him.
Heck yeah.
But my other favorite, I love cantrips. I have a very found love of cantrips because it's a spell you can use everything. And like picking good cantrips, not just good cantrips like combat wise, but role play wise. And if there's one cantrip that is very useful and good for role play, is prestidigitation.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the flavorful one.
And like you said, minor illusion, that is a cantrip as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
And cantrips, chat, for everyone to know, there's a difference. Cantrips, like I said, are spells you can use without using spell slots. You usually have a set amount of spell slots depending on your class, but you can use cantrips whenever and how many times you want each turn. Well, not how many times each turn, but once each turn. So they're very useful. So the prestidigitation spell, this spell has a minor magical trick that novice spellcasters use for practice. You create one of the following magical effects. You can create an instantaneous, harmless sensory effect, such as a shower of sparks, a puff of wind, faint musical notes, or an odd odor. This is a spell for your imagination. You instantaneously light or snuff of the candle, a torch, or a small campfire, very useful. You instantaneously clean or soil an objects no larger than 1 cubic foot, so you can clean stuff. Our players have used that a lot, especially since that one dinner in the F house. You chill, warm, or flavor up to 1 cubic foot of non-living material for 1 hour. Useful. Make a color, small mark, or symbol appear on an object or a surface for 1 hour. You can have a little message for people. Or create a non-magical trinket or illusionary image that can fit in your hand and last until the end of your next turn. That's a lot of stuff.
So it is a lot of stuff.
So this spell is a spell for your imagination. I've seen my players do so many awesome weird shit with this spell.
Oh, you know what? A spell that has been not mentioned yet. Sending.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
That is one of. It's not a powerful spell by any means, and it doesn't do anything other than role-play thing. But oh my god, is it useful?
It's
Yeah.
really useful.
Yeah, it says you send a short message of 25 words or less to creatures within which you are familiar. The creature hears the message in its mind, recognizes you as a sender if it knows you, and can answer in a like manner immediately. The spell enables creatures with intelligence scores of at least 1, which is quite the lowest you can have, to understand the meaning of your message. You can send the message across any distance, and even to other planes of existence. But if the target is on a different plane than you, there is a 5% chance that the message doesn't arrive. 5%, that isn't much.
So you can't, wait, has that always been the case that you can send to other realms?
This should be a Dawn Watcher like go-to spell.
I think it's a 3rd level spell though, so it makes sense.
Yeah, it's very good.
Of course.
The Dawn Watcher should have the spell to be able to connect back to Faerun.
Yeah.
Do we have it? No.
And Mage Hand, of course, Mage Hand is fantastic.
Yeah. Super fun.
And you can flavor
It
the Mage Hand. If anyone has watched, holy crap, Critical Role, it's a very famous role-playing group on YouTube with a lot of famous voice actors, but you also have their animated show, Vox Machina, where you have a good example of the Mage Hand.
I haven't watched that yet.
Oh, you should. If you're a D&D fan, watch it.
Or if you're just a fan of animated
Or
content,
anime in
watch
general,
it.
yeah, animated shows, or shows. It's a good show. It's a good show.
It's a good TV show.
It's a good
period.
TV show. Just watch it. Just go ahead. Mage Hand. A spectral floating hand appears at a point you choose within range. The hand lasts for the duration or until you dismiss it as an action. The hand vanishes if it's ever more than 30 feet away from you or you cast the spell again. You can use your action to control the hand. You can use the hands to manipulate an object, or open an unlocked door or container, stow or retrieve an item from an open container, or pour the contents out of a vial. Like, that would say, you can use Mage Hand to take a health potion, bring it over to a fallen comrade, or a comrade in need of healing, and pour the contents out of it. You can move the hand up to 30 feet each time you use it. So yeah, it's very useful. But it's not like you can't attack with it, activate magic items, or carry more than 10 pounds. But it's a super useful spell. I have a funny story about Mage Hand being used. In my homebrew campaign, my players went to this like abandoned house, clearly haunted. It was barred up at the door as well. All the windows were barred up. And they attempted to like... They just saw this door. This is one side of the house. We're gonna go through this door. They tried to pry it open with crowbar. Thank you. They tried to like break it open. They failed spectacularly, and then a player tried to use Mage Hand, and the Mage Hand can fit through very small spaces as well. He got it through the window, one of like the small slides up in one of the windows, and put it in, and then unlocked the door from the inside. That is a clever way of using it. Didn't work that time though, because there was no lock on this barred door. And the whole thing, they used half an hour on this at least, and it turned out if they just went around the house, there was a broken wall. So watch your surroundings and look for other options aside. But
Great.
But it's a very useful spell. Okay.
The simplest way of stopping a D&D player is to just put a door in front of them.
Yep. That's
If you ever need time as a DM to fix something, to
put a door,
something,
put a locked door in front of him.
It doesn't have
It
to
doesn't
be
even have to be locked.
No, it doesn't have to be
No.
locked. Yeah.
Just tell them there's the door.
Yeah.
And
It's closed.
let it happen.
But what's on the other side?
The rogue is gonna try to, unlock it. The barbarian is gonna try to beat the door down. The bard is gonna try to seduce the door.
Convince the door to open by itself. The wizard is gonna
Warlock's
use a
gonna
lot
be
more.
making a deal with his patron to open the door.
They're gonna use so many spell slots on this thing before actually trying to see. Like, you never described if there was walls or if it's just one door. No.
And actually, I went so far in one of my campaigns with doors that the cleric in the party, he just ran around kicking in every door he found. So he was the first into every room, and guess who got knocked the fuck out on the first turn every time?
That was actually in Equalize campaign. One of the players who's been in this group, in his homebrew campaign, because he had also traumatized us with doors and what's behind doors. And at one point we were in this dungeon. We opened the door and it was just complete darkness. You couldn't see anything. And we have been traumatized by that before. And one of the players used his quarterstaff to poke into the darkness and just whack around. Shouldn't have done that. Because there was a guy.
Someone whacked back.
Something whacked back. And if there was the darkness spell, so it was complete and silent. So if we just went into the darkness, been brave enough to just go into the darkness, the creature guarding wouldn't have seen us or heard us. But since he whacked around with the quarterstaff, it was a quite dangerous encounter. Or obvious trap for as a DM. But doors are fun.
Doors are amazing.
Next question.
Yeah.
And let's do for another user as well. Ophelia is one of my community members who showed up a lot recently on the Green Hell stream, and she told me that she has a husband who's very interested in Dungeons and Dragons, and has been for a lot of years, and he's been trying to get her interested into Dungeons and Dragons for many years, for a lot of years.
If a man in white is whamming to D&D, it's the same as proposing. Take it as a compliment.
Is it?
What?
Oh, yeah. So that's the secret. Okay.
That's the secret. Oh my god.
I've missed this for. Okay.
If he trusts you enough to let you in on him playing D&D, then that's true love.
Do you hear that, Kiwi?
Which I thought was a dude for the longest time.
Yeah.
Never gender assume people.
No, but Kiwi joined a group that I was playing in, and she's also a player in my campaign. So we have the campaign at my house, our house, so she actually had to be there.
You have a house?
No, we don't.
He lied.
A cottage? You're in Oslo.
Yeah, we don't have houses in Oslo.
No. You have some small cupboards and yes, it did, and I loved it. I write like a 12-year-old boy. Yeah, it was the attitude, like a 12-year teenager boy on the internet.
I loved it.
I loved it. It's true love. Yeah, dude, that would be the dream. Having a girlfriend I could play D&D with, and
But that's a funny thing, though. Like, everyone thinks that D&D is for sweaty nerds like us, but it's not. Because when I'm talking about D&D at work with people that are not sweaty nerds like us, they're like, dude, can we play D&D here? Can you, make a one-shot? Can we try it? It sounds so fun. We want to do stuff.
But then again, I have an important question for you then. How do you talk about it?
I'm like, it's like telling a story together, having fun. Yeah.
Because I think that is the important part. How do you get interested in D&D? Is that as us as connoisseurs, how do we talk about D&D with people? Like, do we talk about all the mechanics and all the hard stuff that it's hard to understand? It's also when people talk about D&D, and this is my own experience as well. With my group of friends, it can get very as internal, something that just between these guys. that they understand. So how do you like open it up and talk to it to get like norms to understand what it's all about?
I mean, you know, every time you say, "Ah, I play D&D," and everyone is like, "Oh, is that like you're running in this forest and fireball," saying that aloud, or is it like Stranger Things? And I'm like saying, "It's Stranger Things. You're sitting there with your friends and telling a story. It's like a tabletop game,
A collective story.
and
Yeah.
all you do is telling a story. You have one guy that is the world.
Yeah,
He's
running
having control
Årstid.
over all the
The storyteller.
storyteller, and everyone else got their own character, and you guys just having fun in that world. And everyone is like, "Oh, I want to try that. That
And
sounds really
you get
fun."
to be whatever character you ever imagined being as a child. What did you want to be? Who did you want to be? You can be that.
Do you want to be someone else than yourself? You can. Join D&D now at your local game shop.
And that is like when you talk about that. That is something me and Gravlin talked about earlier on today's stream in the interview. How like D&D helped her be better at problem solving and social skills.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
D&D
And then, yeah.
is
Go.
free therapy. That's all.
Yeah,
it
it's
can be.
therapy. It can be
Until
very.
you get to the point where you see a door in real life and you go thinking,
yeah, dude. That's like when you get, as you say in Norwegian, miljøskada, environmentally damaged. Like you think everything in D&D. You start like thinking, what skill check am I gonna use now? I've rolled a persuasion. I got a nat 1.
As Leaf, like I playing Leaf, and I know now as a real person, not Leaf, that throwing bombs at fire is not a good thing.
In a closed room, in a
do it.
closed
Yep.
iron room with no escape.
Yeah.
Yeah, just don't.
Don't do
So
that,
You're learning,
yeah.
you're learning stuff about life, and
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, and like, especially if you go into roleplay and persuade. How do you persuade people? Like you do, like talk to people, and because you have to interact with these NPCs and the players, and yeah, it's talking with people, being social.
yeah.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of friends sitting around a table, being social and talking about stuff for an evening.
Emotional trauma. Hell yeah.
Uh,
it can be
Red
that
and
as
the
well.
Wolf designs. I usually tell people about the storytelling together, and everyone taking one role in the story. Yeah, that's what Lobon said as well.
It's a good one.
But yeah, there's people I know that like struggle with anxiety, struggle with having talking and having a voice. But then again, D&D, find a group of people, if you can, that you are like you socially connect with, that you are feel safe with, play with them. It's because it's like a very intimate thing, and a very intimate thing and a very grand. You can escape to a whole other world. So I know a lot of people have like really dealt with a lot of emotional trauma and a lot of anxieties and stress by playing Dungeons and Dragons.
True. I'm one of them.
Gosh.
Right? Because you have to set yourself in another one's, like when you're in a character, you can have, and this is what I often do personally. When I make my characters, I make personal connections to them. Like I draw upon something from myself. Either it's overly, I do it over the top, or like I play down. I have some sides of myself I put into the character at the same time that I play it completely differently. So it's not me. So I have to put my mind in the mindset of someone else as well. What would my character do? And then at the same time, I connect with it. So it's a way to look at yourself, look at the situation from another perspective. That has helped me a lot as well. VS Cosplay says, when you're out meeting people, cool social encounter, I believe it can be solved without violence. Oh yeah, that one. Things can
Especially
be...
if you're a bard, then you can solve everything.
You can...
fairly different.
Yeah.
If you play a rogue,
Yeah, then you can sneak off into the shadows.
or just rob people.
D&D
Yeah,
is
you can.
yeah. D&D is a great escape from personal stuff, and it helps a lot. Yeah. Look, with all these people. It's basically taking a couple of beers together as other characters, aka a way of hanging out. Yeah.
It's a great escape from personal stuff, but also therapy.
Yep.
Yeah.
At the same time, you're dealing with the problems, even though you don't notice that your problems are there.
Yeah. It's so much fun. It's addicting. It's a drug.
Hey, you're dealing with problems. It's a drug.
So this is why you should get interested in D&D.
Yeah.
Don't
You want to buy some death sticks?
We talked about how we introduce D&D to new people who don't know what it is. And I've started doing this thing that I shouldn't do this. But when they don't know what D&D is and ask what I do, I tell them I'm an actor.
Yeah, you kind of are.
Well, you are.
Yes, technically, but it creates this false image of me in their head.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think it's fun to mess with people.
Well,
Well,
aren't we all just playing roles in this big play called life?
I got a lot of
Oh yeah.
of practice acting, playing Dungeons and Dragons. Than I was. Like, that is something that comes with experience as well. So I definitely would say that it's improv theater in a way.
It is.
Yeah. But you're like working on the foundation of all the feelings and stuff for your character over time, and it's so fun. I just love getting into characters and being like crazy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Feel all the emotions.
Do the
Like
shit you
leave
wouldn't have done. Like, you can be in Dungeons and Dragons and do the stupid shit you would never do in real life. Like, throw a
Yeah.
bomb inside of
Yeah.
a room, closed up room with other bombs and close friends.
That's why I always play chaotic characters.
Yeah.
And good ones, since you're evil in real life.
And you can kill your
Yeah.
friends because they could just make a new character.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can just respawn. Hello. It's easy.
Yeah.
After all, there was only one guy that managed to respawn in real life.
Wait, what?
But then again,
Oh, right.
Yeah.
when you come into this aspect of Dungeons and Dragons, like where you deal with you can be a spacer, you can deal with like anxieties and stuff. And a very important part of this, and which is like the best tip, is session 0.
Yep.
Have a session where you talk about what kind of campaign is this going to be, what character would you like playing, but most importantly, personal preferences, talking about things that could be triggering when it comes to themes and certain themes in D&D, like do you have any kind of phobias, do you have any traumas that could be triggering for you if you went into this. That is important to talk about beforehand, because there's a lot of people. I've read a lot of fucked up stories, especially on Reddit, of people using D&D for a lot of fucked up shit, playing out their dark fantasies. But yeah, talking about that kind of stuff, especially if there's anything that you are struggling with that could be triggering for you. Yeah, that is very important. And the campaign we're running now, Curse of Strahd, which is a gothic horror adventure, dark fantasy, which has a lot of strong dark subjects and things that can happen. That is definitely something we talked about. And before that, this is the way this could happen. You can expect these things coming up. Is that something you're okay with? That everyone is level with that. Not only just for like personal, but just for the story in general. This is what you can expect from the story. So would your character be interested in that as well? Or are you as a player interested in that kind of thing? Because gothic horror, for example, as a genre, is not something everyone is a fan of.
That's true. And we go further than this and to the play style that you can play in the game, because you have a lot of role play heavy things, and you can do combat heavy, or you can do dungeon crawling or exploring, and all these things are also good to get a feel with your players and what they expect and what they like to do. So you can make a good mix.
Yeah, teamwork though is like teamwork
Yeah.
is makes the dream work.
Teamwork.
You have to do teamwork, and that is like important. If you have to think when you're playing Dungeons and Dragons, you're playing along with a group of people, and respect that.
It's not the DM versus the players.
Not the DM versus the players. The DM is there to play with the players, and don't be that guy where you make a character that you want all the spotlight and you don't care about the other members of the party. You don't rest them if they drop down. It's a team effort.
It is.
The lone wolf stereotype rarely works. They can work, but there must be a reason for them to want to be together with other players and the party members. Let's see, there's some chat here. Why can't I? I use session 0, session 1.5, 2.5, and so on to help the players. Yeah, have sessions in between and talk about what's happening and what's going on as well. It definitely helps. It's a tabletop RPG that also has some video games. Yeah, it has rules. It has certain mechanics to it, so it's definitely a game in that regard. I've never been in a weird group that went over the top, but a female friend of mine joined the group, and when they met outlaws, her character got captured and sexually assaulted. First game night. And nobody thought much about it and was surprised that she didn't want to play with them anymore. Because apparently this stuff happens in such a setting.
Yeah, that's not okay at all.
It's not okay at all.
Nope.
You know, you have to expect that. It's so toxic behavior. That's just fucked up. And if you don't talk about these, and so like a session 0, that this is not okay. You have to have a set of rules and expectations and respect. That sucks and very tone deaf of them to do that. Yeah, but this happens, and I've read so many stories of this happening. Unfortunately.
But yeah, how do you get interested in D&D? I don't know. Just try it. Don't be scared. You're ARPing. You're into character, and everyone else is also in a character. So don't be afraid to look weird because you're not. If you guys know what I mean. Like, just
weird.
feel free. If you say something stupid, then that's okay, because it's not you saying stupid things. It's actually your character. So just have fun. Don't stress it out. Don't read the fucking rules. Let the DM control everything and tell you what you can do and not do. Mostly it's not what you cannot do, but what you can do. So the DM should say yes, and this will happen if you do that.
Yeah, as VS Cosplay said, yes and.
Yes, and
Also,
A lot of and. Yeah.
don't use this rule to purposely be an asshole to your fellow players and DM.
Nope.
Do this within reason.
Yeah, it's a team effort. It's something you do to be social with a group of friends or a group of people, and then if you do that, you'll get such good friends.
Absolutely.
You get stories. It's like you experience. It's a fictional world, but you feel like you experienced it. We talk about it. Me and my friends. We talk about it like it actually happened. Like, oh, you remember that time when that happened? Yeah, or like, remember that guy when I blew you up with the bombs?
Yeah, that's actually great what Kiwi is saying here. Like, I'm her sensei, and just she had some problems like role playing, and she was playing in really role playing group like we are, and we were talking about the easiest way, and I was like, yeah, but what about your stepdad? How is he? And she's like, oh yeah. And then she made a fucking hilarious character out of her stepdad that is so freaking amazing. So, and it's so easy. Just pick your mom, pick your neighbor, pick something easy if you're afraid of role playing, and just do them. It's so great.
Do them.
Or what's also normal.
Yeah, just do it.
Just do them,
Just
you know.
do them. Don't do your stepdad.
And then we're back in
There's
the
way
territory
too many
we're
stories
trying
of-
to escape from. Hooray!
Yeah.
yeah.
Great choice of words.
That is a beautiful dungeon. And we're playing, as I said, we're playing a gothic horror adventure dark fantasy setting.
It's not a gothic horror.
But just watch the clip.
No,
the,
not
the,
with
the
us.
12-month video I have a own segment of D&D clips. Go watch that, and you wouldn't think it's got it if you could, because it's LeBone saying, "I didn't touch my penis." It's a lot of funny stuff happening, and that is
I draw my sword in a non-threatening way.
I mean, it's cool stuff.
yeah. So yeah, have fun. That's the number one rule of D&D.
Yeah.
Okay, what time is it? Yeah, we have time for another question. We have an anonymous question. Do you have any books you recommend to us? We went through some of them, but there are a couple of ones I have. Let me just. You start with some books. You've been talking about it a little bit, LeBone, as well, but you can mention it again.
Sly Flourish. I actually sent the link in Crest DM. If you go down to role playing there, Sly Flourish got some really good, easy way to get into dungeon mastering. Like the thing he's about is all that. He's a lazy guy and he's a lazy DM and he wanted to be a good DM but also be lazy at the same time. So if you just check him out. Every book he got was really helping me out.
I'm also a lazy DM. I'm not the one to take notes of everything happening, and that's one thing, very good thing about streaming D&D, that I have the VODs. I can just watch the VODs and everything that happens. Hey, a first-time chatter here. Are there laws in your campaign world, even if it just results around magic or anything?
That's a good question.
Oh,
Are there laws in your campaign world, even if it just results around magic or?
Yeah, because there are this high fantasy and low fantasy and high magic and low magic settings that are explained in the Dungeon Master's Guide.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, how that is important to think about. How does magic work in your world? Is it a common thing or is it not a common thing? Is it a world with a lot of rules? Like if you have is it Harry Potter kind of magic world? Is it very everyday thing? That is where definitely something you have to think about.
My Norse campaign, there's a whole empire that despises magic.
Yeah.
They
That is a lot of fun.
hang
It's great.
and burn and torture magic users.
Oh, torture, that's so much fun.
Burn them at the stake, toss them out at sea.
I love it. There you go. I love my dark fantasies.
Yep.
Yeah, there it is. And that is very important when you're creating a world. That is definitely a very important thing to think about. How does, because everything, D&D, you can just, as a DM, you can just magic, because magic. But if it falls in
and
set
also
rules.
you can have guns and rifles and things like this in your D&D setting as
Yeah.
well. It's just where do you want to go with
You
it?
can have a Western D&D setting, you can have a Cyberpunk D&D setting, you can have a Space Opera D&D setting, you can have Star Wars D&D, whatever, Cthulhu, you can have whatever genre you want.
And there's you can do a lot of laws around the clerics and warlocks and their gods and patrons and everything, and how to operate those things as well.
Mm-hmm. A great question. Thank you so much. I'll give first time chatter and coming in with a great question there. Yeah, the books. Mr. Casual, do you have any books like that just comes to mind when you think about the different kind of books?
Player's Handbook.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Player's Handbook? Yeah, that's
I've
a
read
good
one.
That's
Yeah.
a must-have. But what about like the other source books? Is there any like source book that has been especially helpful for you?
Tasha's. Fucking love Tasha's.
Yeah.
Tasha's.
Yeah,
Oh, Tasha's.
Tasha's
and
and
one of
Sander's Guide to Everything is also pretty good to just
Sanitars.
give more choices for
Sanitars is one of my favorites without a doubt. Those are like one of the few books I actually have in physical copies. I can go get them as well.
I love the new Monster of Multiverse, but
Yeah.
that's because I love monster books. Yeah.
I think if
And
there's like 3 books, if you just want to play and not DM anything, you could get the Player's Handbook and Sanitars and Tasha's, and you're really set to do everything you want.
Absolutely.
What's the third-party book that came out not long ago that had like a shit ton of new dragon types?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah,
that one is
no.
great.
But isn't there's an official dragon source book that just released as well?
Yeah. He's talking about that one.
Yeah,
Is it Fistband's Treasury of Dragons?
Yes.
Yeah, it's Fistbands.
Oh, that's great. It's so good. That's amazing. Especially if you're a fan of dragons, but Dungeons and Dragons? Huh?
I'm not. But I love one of the dragons there is, so I think it's the Elder Brain Dragon. I love it.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good. And
it's so beautiful.
And the Elder Brain, that's like that's Cthulhu kind of BBG for you.
I
And
love
Mind Flayers.
Cthulhu and Mind Flayers and everything.
So yeah, here's my favorite. One of my favorites. This is the Sanitar's Guide to Everything. This is just such a good source book. One of like the major source book that came that really brought a lot to the table. And since if you are a dark fantasy gothic horror fan, there was another book that came out last year, just when I was about to like start Curse of Strahd, which was perfect timing. Is this Van Richten's Guide to Ravenloft?
Yeah, it's a good one.
This is so good I had to get the collector edition as well. Look at this art.
It's so good.
It's amazing art. And especially like for it's like not it's very if you're playing Curse of Strahd, this is gold. But if you want, this is a guide to how do you create a world, a dark fantasy or gothic horror. It has all the different kinds of horror genres in it, and how to build it from the scratch, and how to like, because the hard part of playing a horror or like scary and dark adventures is actually making it scary for players. How do you like that? Yeah. That can be hard to role play, or make your players afraid. So yeah, this is such a great book. It was such a treasure trove for me when it launched at the time it did as well. So if you're a fan of those and you want to do that kind of campaign, or not it doesn't have to be a campaign. It could be like that your players come to a haunted house, or like a part of your story which goes into like more horror. It's great. It's a great, and it even has like a little adventure in it as well. A little adventure, yeah, in the back of it that you can use and draw in your campaign as well. And that comes down. You have all these books, you have all these modules, and you don't have to play the module through. Take whatever you find as a DM when you create it. Take bits and pieces from all of them. That's what you really supposed to use with these books. Take the parts you like, get rid of the stuff you don't like, write your own stuff, use it as inspiration. That is how these books are a treasure trove.
Yep.
And a lot of the books are made that way, and I think they've become a lot better in doing that as well. With the last couple of adventure books they come with, they made them like so you as a dungeon master has more freedom of like taking out the bits you like than the previous, like the earlier adventures. Okay, let's do a little bit in. I'm afraid of the dark. I think any DM can scare me. So if you're lacking a player, yeah, nothing is better than making your players raise an eyebrow and be like, "What the fuck is that?" Yeah.
That happens all the time.
I think Curse of Strahd needs a player that gets a little bit terrified at least.
Yeah, I think I've scared you guys a couple of times. At least.
Well, I was scared when my character died, but after that, I'm dead inside.
And also, remember when I did like the singing of the nursemaid in Death House, and Felgrim's reaction after that, like, let's torch the place and leave.
Yeah, that's the Blood Hunter speaking.
The Blood Hunter speaking, yeah. Take it apart and slap it together, yeah. Or follow the book if you like that more. Yeah, follow the book, buy the page. There's no rules, or I mean, do whatever. Or DM is going by the book.
You can railroad, but
yeah, Curse of Strahd is a module that's written you can follow it by the book. Personally, I find that a much worse story if you just follow that book by the page. So I'll definitely recommend try doing your own stuff. Have faith in yourself. The stuff that comes from yourself personally usually translates a lot better and makes a better story.
It would make a better experience both for the DM and the players.
Yeah.
really easily
think-
because if you try to railroad and force players on a path, they will not have any fun, and in turn you won't have any fun with it.
Yeah. Or as you say here, you take a monster and make it your own by modifying it. Like all of my goblins have spider climbing. Yeah.
Yeah,
And-
why not?
We can work.
Homebrew, modify, take the use the monster manual as inspiration, but modify their stats. Modify everything you
Yeah,
want.
it's fine.
Especially when
It's
like,
also good to modify stats on creatures because then you can work around the power gamers that think they know everything.
yeah, you have the power games that read the books, and I know every stat of this guy. And I have experience, like I've read stories like people playing Curse of Strahd, for example, and they had players reading through the entire module. They knew the stats of every creature. They knew the stat of the boss fight, and they got angry when the DM changed stuff.
Too bad for them.
Too bad for them. Yeah, and this is a great way of using D&D Beyond as well, because you have a tool where you can, like the homebrew tool they have in D&D Beyond is magic. Like you have here, you can go to collections. My homebrew you can just like homebrew, create a spell, create monster, create magic item. And when you go in there, you can choose a template from any monster or item that they have there before. You can make it completely by scratch. But it's like a step-by-step of how to create a homebrew item. And when you're done, you can put it in your players' character sheets. It's amazing. Or they can search it up themselves. Amazing. D&D Beyond is so good.
What I've tried to do with when it comes to homebrew and shit is I tried to take all the abilities from the characters in Overwatch and make an item out of each and every ability.
Yeah,
That's one way you can do homebrew. You can take something like an effect and try to make something out of it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, do you have any books about it? Are we done with that question? What time is it? It's only... We still got an hour, guys.
Oh, really? That's
What?
awesome.
Yeah.
I
So
thought
we
we
have a
only
lot
had
of
like 5 more
I
minutes.
Yeah, I
No,
think we
I
were
thought it
supposed
was
to have
way
that.
later than it was now. That's one of the rare occasions when I do D&D and the time just doesn't go flying.
What, you guys want it to be done?
No!
Yeah, I have to be done at 11. Then I don't have any more time tonight.
And that's
So then you have to continue after me.
totally fine.
Yeah.
Let me see. We can do one more question, can we? Let me see. What is your favorite do you have in the room?
Yeah, I
Ooh.
wonder. Take some character answers.
Yes.
Leaf wants
But
to know
one,
shit.
like, since Dicer is having the giveaway today, we should
Yeah.
take Dicer's
Yeah,
question.
let's do it.
Because it's a great question as well. And there's one addiction you will feel. It's actually 2 questions, I guess. Let's see. Let's get it in. Is it all in the...
Precious.
My preciousness.
There, this is a long one. Okay, there we go, and I'll put it in. Put it in. There we go.
Alright.
So the question is, how do you feel about dice? Is any dice okay, or do you prefer to have dice that matches your character in some way?
Yes.
Yes.
Preferably. I mean,
Yeah.
fuck. Have any of you used Curse Forge?
No.
Nope.
I've dabbled a little bit.
Oh my god, there is a module for Curse Forge where you can custom make your own dice whenever you roll. It works like Roll20, just better.
What?
Whenever you roll the die rolls across the screen for everyone to see, and you can custom make them with so much fucking shit.
I thought it. Oh yeah, so you can't order it and get it like in physical. It's
But
only
probably
digital.
there's probably pages for that as well.
There are certainly there are places you can custom make your own dices, but for like it's like a Roll20, but you can custom make your dice so perfectly, and everyone in my game has made their dice matching their character color schemes and feelings and everything. So yes, having dice match my character? Yes, please.
Yep, absolutely.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So,
My dice in that game, I'm a pirate, and her dice is made of wood with gold inlays for the borders and numbers.
Oh, it's actually wood. Oh, I want that.
Cool.
Lebon, you have some dice, don't you?
so this is my bag. It's only dice, and it's like in every campaign I'm playing, my characters is always dying. So it's been a lot of dices.
Yeah, a lot of dice. And
I think there's one campaign I played in where 5 or 6 characters of mine died. Actually, in the first session as well. So I have this bag with a lot of different, like you can have D6 in one pocket and D4s in one pocket.
Seriously, there's several pockets in it.
Nice. That's a nice one.
It has pockets.
And I also have dices. This one, that's my traveling dice set.
Ooh.
And my keychain is also a small dices. So I got too much dices. And
There's nothing as too much.
There's nothing as too much dice.
No, it's not. But I don't have money anymore for that.
So here's
yes.
a living, breathing dice goblin for you.
Yeah, it's really important for me, at least, to actually, when I'm making a new character, I getting this color of that character, right? And I then need a dice that is almost the same color and maybe
to get feel like the personality. It has the personality of the dice.
So I go to my local dice shop and I hover my hands over all the dice and I'm checking if the heat is coming from any one of them while I'm thinking about my character. It's like a ritual. I'm like, wow.
Rituals are an important part of Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's not
satanic rituals is very important part of Dungeons and Dragons. We all know that. We're all Senate. Okay, yeah, that is also why this giveaway from Dicer is also why I chose this dice set. But I can't say I have bought a lot of dice set when I thought about like this dice is gonna be for that character. I haven't done that too much, but I've definitely buy dice sets that fits the mood I'm in, or like what I personally enjoy. So, like you might have discovered, I'm very fond of purple and gold, and that is also the color scheme I made for one of my characters. I got one of my characters commissioned. This is also a something that happens when you get interested in D&D. You want your characters made and drawn out by awesome, talented people. So I got a friend of mine who's an illustrator to make this is my bard, half-elf bard of the College of Valor. And you see, I'm very fond of purple and gold. And that's why I chose this set as well. The characters are kind of similar. So yeah, definitely that would be the dice set I would choose if I was going to play this character again. I really want to play this character again at some time. You get so attached to your characters.
Malkara here is telling about if a new player don't have dices, maybe the hoarder will lend them some. No. Never let anyone touch your dice. It's fuck it up all the time.
No, but you would lend them the dice that are already cursed, right?
Yeah, I have them in this container.
Yeah, take this. Do not ever accept that container. Yeah. That's his dice jail. As VQ said, you have the dice jail.
Yes.
Okay, here's another question. If you plan a battle for your...
I had one more thing for the dicer question. The most important thing about dice is that they're readable.
Yeah,
yeah.
That's a good thing.
If they have a font that is too fucking crazy, or colors that doesn't match up or anything, and is not readable from across the table, no, that's not a good die.
Nah, that's true. And my favorite dice is Wade dice.
Yes.
Oh, you just feel
are loaded dice. So
they're loaded. They're so loaded, and I have a set of weight dice I have in my special little compartment. I'm gonna show you guys. Talk about some dice while I find it. But
I think Cress thinks that weighted dice is something else. Because when I say weighted dice, I mean that I always roll 20s.
Yes, that's
I
a
think
lot
we
of
mean.
die.
I think you think we mean like just metal.
Share stream.
I think he thinks that.
You heard it here first. Cress is weighted dice.
Yes.
I love
God,
that.
love
actually.
the
That's why
dice.
Pelgrim died.
That's
Died.
Yes.
the loaded die. Yeah, I've killed players with this, especially this D20 of mine. I've gotten so many crits with this.
Well, of course, it's weighted.
Yeah.
You guys
Well,
heard about the curse, Will Wheaton curse?
Yeah, I've heard about it.
No.
Every
But
dice you
since you-
touch, or
Yeah.
it's like total failure.
It always rolls a 1 or a 2.
So if you meet the Will Wheaton, if you know that he's been in your local dice shop, then
Oh,
find a new dice shop.
shit.
And then
no.
Dicer.no. Have you heard about it?
Yes, have you heard about this great? And it's a
Great
web
website. You
store.
get
He
a lot
can't.
of good
Dicer
prices.
is a Norwegian web store. He can't walk
Yeah.
into the web store and fuck it up.
Yeah, that's a good one.
True.
And on that note, I have to go, guys. It was great chatting
No.
with you.
It was great. I love this. We definitely gotta continue with this. This is a lot of fun.
I'm gonna see you guys on whatever day we get together again, I guess.
Yeah.
Hey,
Well, yeah. Tuesday
No,
should
we're
be
having a
fine.
break, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a break, right?
We usually
Or was it the
stream
exam
our.
break?
We usually take D&D sessions on Tuesdays. Molly here, he has a lot of school and exams coming forward. I have as well coming up. But I think I can do it this Tuesday if you guys can. If you're free players, we should be able to do it. And it's probably gonna be a combat session anyway, so like mostly. So it could be nice. It could be nice to just get the combat out of the way.
okay, then we need Omoli.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
What do you
do.
mean the combat? We were almost done with the session.
He's a bard though. I can play the bard.
Yeah, you just don't want to play any more horses.
I've done a lot of horses. I get him with horse.
See ya, guys.
You say later, dude.
I actually got some dices with 3 20s and 3 natural ones on them.
Just a 50-50
One
die.
dice. It's beautiful.
Okay, do you have it? On, can you show
Have
it?
it here?
Yeah.
Yeah, just wait a second.
Yeah, D&D Dragons is just about hanging out. Dungeons and Dragons is just about hanging out with Dungeons and Dragons. It's just about hanging out with friends, having a fun time, slaying monsters, and unraveling a mystery, or perhaps argue with your friends why it's not a good idea to carry a backpack full of flasks of oils to face a fire-breathing dragon. Yeah, or it's not a good idea. Or what? Well, he wasn't told that though. He was told, yeah, you did it. Your friend that you were about to kill, he said, that's what you said, so do it. Oh, there it is. You have a dice vault.
Yeah, I got the dice vault from Wormwood. This is actually a Kickstarter from
Got a Wormwood?
Yeah, and
Jelly.
I bought those dices, and I think one of them are metal. Those are stones.
Oh
3d6
my God.
is stones. And everyone is really special. Like this one got 20. And
You're
20.
you're a bit quick on the showing of them.
Oh, sorry. 20, 20, a lot of 20s, and a
And-
lot of ones.
Holy crap.
So I got, I'm using that actually a lot, especially if I'm playing my Blood Hunter. I'm using it while I'm werewolf, for example.
Oh yeah, but like
because
decisions and like,
then he's more reckless, you
Yeah.
know, and
and you've
and
been
the
really
DM is
good.
saying that, okay,
And you've been really good with that. Also in this campaign, like you use the dice to like make decisions when your character like, I'm not quite sure if this is. I'm gonna roll for it and see what happens. That you can use the rolls for that as well. Lebon is making me
EQ.
want more dice. Man, B,
Let
he's
them
just very excited to show off his dice.
Look at that!
Oh my god, I forgot. I have a real
Dices.
job now.
You
I
do.
can buy more dice.
Yes, you can. You got adult money, but that is a dangerous realization that I also made, and I spent a lot of money that I perhaps should have used on saving up for a known apartment.
Yeah, this D6 also got 1D, 1 there,
Ooh.
and 6 and 6. So it's like
But how much did
uh,
those dice cost? Did you get it with the dice vault?
Yeah, I got it from a Kickstarter.
A Kickstarter. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Le Bonheur is a very good supporter of Kickstarter, and Kickstarter, guys, is a great source of finding like awesome creators of dice, of books, of adventures, of all things Dungeons and Dragons. There's a lot of great stuff there, and you can get it.
Absolutely.
If you're early there and supporting them, you can get it for next to nothing.
Really cheap. Cheap
Yeah.
money.
Cheap money.
Cheap money.
So yeah, I bought my downloaded dice. I got this for Christmas from one of my siblings. I have great siblings that understands my passions, and I got this dice vault. I thought this was by an Outland though, so you don't need it. It wasn't specially ordered.
Yes.
My loaded
Oh, that's
dice
nice.
is gone.
It's nice.
It's gone.
Well,
Oh,
good.
no.
No,
Some
you
of my
can't
players probably removed it.
cheat. Now we can't cheat anymore.
It's gone. But yeah, these dice have not let me down at all. These are also metal dice. Oh, there's the camp. We like bronze. It's made of like, it looks like bronze and had like these darker inlays for the numbers. So we're very, they're just so good. Like you should, it's totally worth it to buy a set of metal dice. It just feels like the destiny when you're rolling it are just more great. And they might be, the loaded die might be in my dice bag that I also got in Dicer actually. As you might understand, I'm a big fan of the Witcher universe, and the Witcher universe has inspired me a lot in my own campaign. So this dice bag was also bought in Dicer. Let's see, and I have a lot of dice in here. Where's my loaded dice?
No.
Dude, I will be heartbroken if I can't find it. Oh, here's the dice from the giveaway. This is why I chose them, because I have them myself. It's been one of my favorites.
It's nice. I also got this die made of tree.
Oh my god, I'm so jelly.
Yeah. I got the whole set though, so yeah.
I also.
I actually subscribed for dice, so I got new dice set every month. I know Ekley did the same.
Yeah.
After I told him about it,
Mhm.
and he got some really like limited stuff. I didn't get that.
I was very unlucky when I bought one of their sets. It's Irish. What's it called?
Yeah.
I was very unlucky. That was pretty shitty, the thing I got for the amount of money paid. I'm
Yeah.
still waiting for my ice dice. Ice dice. Wow.
Wanted die subscription? You can buy one from me. I can send you one die every month.
You could probably
for,
make your like own subscriptions for like dice.
let's say $20.
That sounds interesting. We can. One is like light blue and white, so it's like ice. It's not looking dice. This number is not looking dice. I can make out the numbers. I want a dice subscription. Yeah. Let's make a dice subscription. This dice was used by Leaf.
Yeah.
With your signature on it.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, it was a Kickstarter that made a tray you fill with water and make a whole D&D dice set in ice to have. Oh, with your drinks! Corona has delayed a lot of their productions and shipping. That is awesome. Ice cubes in dice forms. That's awesome. The Bones Rando Dice subscription sounds shady. I'm in. Ah, that's right.
Katie?
Hmm?
Do we have more questions?
Oh, we have a lot of questions, so
More questions.
we can definitely move on. Oh, Kiwi! Thank you so much for the subscription. 48. We're 2 subs away from the next goal with Turfisk. Oh, thank you so much. You have a good girlfriend there, Elben.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, let's do one from one of the players, the characters, to another character. Shall we do that?
Oh.
Which one do you want? You guys can choose.
There's only like 2 characters there, so.
Well, Oh, fuck yeah, that's true. Let's see if there's a question between these two characters, though. Or ask to one of these characters. Leaf. Oh, yeah, this one. And before we do that, Leaf, tell chat, because there's a lot of people here now that hasn't been following our campaign and don't necessarily know your character. Tell them a little bit about your character.
My character is a tabaxi. He is from the north of Farron, like the Icewind Dales, one of the 10 towns there. He's been away from his. I'm not gonna spoil anything, but he's been away from his family, like from he was 5 years old, and been living in a town that it's. I haven't told the town yet in stream, so I won't say it now. But he's been working for like this. What is it?
Group of smuggling criminals, organization, crime organization.
Yeah, to live life, and he met Dawn Watchers, especially Gloomsworth, rest in peace.
Fried turtle for dinner, anyone?
Yeah, and he joined them because the Gloomsworth was rescuing Lee from something. So yeah.
And you had, of course, growing up on the streets and being part of this organization, learned quite a few tricks and skills that was proved valuable for the Dawn Watchers.
He's a really chaotic person. He got a lot of things going on up in his mind. So you can, when you watch him on stream, he will be. One moment he will be really like angry or really sad, but suddenly he's like happy and energetic and just want to get everything done or try something new, and he never like he lose his concentrations all the time. So yeah, he's like
he
really,
disassociates
really
from time to time. Yeah,
Yeah,
he has some letters. He has some letters, and he struggles with letters.
And he says a lot of funny stuff. But Tabaxi, if you guys don't know Tabaxi, it's
not a cat.
Humanoid race. It's not a cat, but it looks like a cat. Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's my character.
And their feline agility or whatever it's called is a great racial trait there. And I was also going to... Hey, Nitrax, welcome back. You also have a very special item.
Yeah, he has this coin. I'm actually using the Witcher coin for this. And they got the dark side and the light side. And that's a coin from his family. When he lost his family, he found this coin where the family was the last time he saw them. I actually said this on stream, so
yeah,
it's not
this has been revealed
something
now.
New. I don't like to tell stuff you guys don't know already. And every time he like throw it into the air, you get either the black side or the white side, and the white side helps him some way.
Yeah, get some divine guidance.
And the dark side got some wild magic going on.
There's a lot of and it hasn't been. It's a 50-50 thing, but I would say the statistics of this coin leans toward the dark side.
Yeah, it's really bad. Yeah, it's almost like a hit, but...
Yeah, they're basically like a heat, yeah.
Yeah.
And they're just as addicted as skooma, no? Yeah, you have also had an addiction, not skooma, but cream pastries. Such good stuff. It's an awesome character.
Chaotic character.
And Mr. Casual, your character. You've had two characters in this campaign, but the character you're currently playing.
Thanks for reminding me.
Rest in peace. F in chat for Felgrim. F in chat for Felgrim.
No, my first character was a deep gnome blood hunter who I liked very much.
Silence.
Sorry.
No, but to be honest,
should have sacrificed yourself on that shady altar.
The reason he died was because of myself. I love to blame both, told Leaf and who was it in chat?
Yeah, talking about that, that is one of the questions from Crime. Was it my fault for killing Felgrim?
Yes.
No, but I will tell you it was.
Yeah, because we have this channel point redemptions thing when we stream Dungeons and Dragons. We have certain channel point redemption. You as the community and chat can spend your well-earned barrel points on to either you can give them inspiration, you can give them let them roll the dice of fate that will give them a buff or debuff maybe. Most of them are buffs though, and you can give them advantage on their next roll for some of them. And then we have one called Wild Magic. It's a expensive one, but if you use that, one of the players rolls on the Wild Magic table. We have our own, especially tailored for Curse of Strahd, and wild shit happens. So what happened to your character just before you entered the boss room of like the entire death house? Just before, like 3 feet before the boss room.
As we walked in the door.
As you walked in the door, riding on the Dogs of Axis, standing next to 4 of your team members, I think. Crinecraft used this channel point redemption, got Wild Magic, thought it would help, but a fireball spontaneously combust, centered on Felgrim, dealing a shit ton of fire damage.
Thing is, that wouldn't have mattered.
No, it wouldn't. And why? Why is that?
Because I made the bright fucking decision that I had to sacrifice myself on an altar.
Because one must die. One must die.
I tried to cheat the system, and it didn't work.
No, because you didn't die, did you? Why didn't you die?
Well, no, I didn't. Well, because as my light snuffed out.
Right, I got the follower alert there, so I don't think chat would hear that. What did he say?
No, the reason I didn't die after Leaf sacrificed me, which I told him to,
Yes.
was because...
Then
I
healing
told-
you back up with a health potion.
Yeah, I also told Leaf to heal me back up with the health potion immediately. I thought this would break or game the system and we would be out. But no, I summoned the boss and I had to fight the boss with 3 HP.
Welcome to the gang, Malkara Darkwall. Thank you so much for
Hey,
following. You've been such a
Malkara.
great addition and so active in chat on the first time here. Thank you so much.
So,
Yeah, that didn't go too well. So yeah, your character did not survive that ordeal. And what was the character after that?
my character now,
The currently character. Yeah.
it's not as cool.
It is.
Not as cool. I love it.
He is a... What's the official term? A Lockadin?
What?
No.
Warlock? Oh yeah, the Warlock Paladin.
Yes, he's a Warlock Paladin. He is more Paladin than Warlock.
Yeah, way more. Yeah.
But he is from an ancient order that was believed long gone,
Yeah, destroyed by Strahd.
called the Silver Dragon Order.
No, Order of the Silver Dragon.
Well, shut the fuck up.
You should know this.
And he, so far, is the only one we've found who is a living member of this group, even though he's a robot.
Because they were destroyed 400 years ago.
They were. And he's a robot, and he has a grudge against Strahd, who fought his people and killed them all, and he's out for revenge.
Yeah, he's got a very big bone to pick with Strahd.
What a great guy. He just followed us after we met him. He just followed us. It was really stalky.
Listen, I bought Miles a drink and told him if he's gonna die, at least has to be drunk.
Well, he's a hard nut. He's a tank in every regard of the way, and he's not like the most sharing type. But then we have Molly, who's like the outgoing Vistani bard, and he had a goal to warm up this metal warforged heart. The heart he doesn't have, but there's a heart now in Vessel. Even the name says it all. His name is Vessel. He's a vessel, but that vessel now contains a heart. And I love that character. Do you have restricted Quench Your Thirst to once during a stream and not a cooldown? No, I don't think so. So nothing will extend the stream. No, this is not a subathon. I'm not the dude to do subathons. I have to take care of myself.
He's a kindergarten teacher.
I'm a kindergarten teacher. I can't do subathons. Sorry.
What you have to do is do a reverse subathon, so people have to donate to make the stream shorter.
Yeah, I'm good. Revert it. Yeah, unfortunately, I have a D&D session tomorrow as well.
Without us? Or without me?
Yeah, with my physical group.
Play with other people?
Who won the giveaway? The first giveaway, VQ won the first giveaway with the Steam gift cards worth 300 Norwegian kroners, or roughly $30. And we haven't announced a giveaway winner yet. We'll do that at the end of the stream. Who will win the dice set? That is for...
It's gonna be rigged anyway.
It's gonna be rigged anyway. It's gonna be a dice roll. We'll see how many... Can one of you guys like just look through the scheme and like mark up the numbers for who entrants? And maybe we can use a D20 to luckily, hopefully, or use some kind of dice to determine the winner. That would be very fitting, I think.
What was the question again?
Getting into this giveaway, you'll had to enter a question into the form, the Google Docs form here. There's still time for that. So if you go into here and place your name and a question into this form, you are eligible to win that or participate in that giveaway. Quench Your Thirst, thank you. But now, after introducing your characters, let's get to the question. This is a question not from LeBone, but from his character, Leaf.
Oh, okay, yes.
Do it in character, LeBone.
Character on.
Yes. Hey, Vessel.
What?
You know, you have an agenda. What is your agenda?
What do you mean?
I don't know what I mean. It's a word I learned somewhere. Please, just tell me what the agenda is, please. What is an agenda?
Such a good...
And what?
He's just learned a new fancy word and just wanted to use it.
In what context? I mean, agenda. My purpose?
Yes, whatever. Just answer. Please.
My purpose for what?
I don't know. Everyone got a purpose for something.
My agenda for being with you, my agenda for being alive.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. Like your agenda for being with me, because you're a little bit cozy with me. You touch my shoulders and stuff. It's nice.
Right.
Touch my shoulders and stuff. That's second base.
I guess having allies is a good thing. And I guess I could use you to further my goals of killing Strahd.
So you're just using me? I thought we were friends.
Like you're using me.
I'm not using you.
Yes, you are.
Meat shield.
What's the meat shield in this battle that we are doing right now? I had like 4 bats around me, and there's another
God,
big
right.
one.
Yeah, there's like this super slow combat happening while you're having this conversation.
Look at that. Netrox, you crazy.
Look at that. Netrax. 5 gift subs. Holy crap. Thank you so much. Turfisk. We're doing Turfisk. Have you ever tried... okay, let's go into the character of Raja. Hey, Leaf. Have you ever tried... We have a specialty amongst our people. We call it turfisk?
Yes, we got it as well. We call it dry fish.
You call dry fish? Oh, that's very interesting. It's a much better word. It's just very descriptive, isn't it? What do you do with the turfisk?
No, there's different kinds. You got popsicle dry fish.
Oh,
You got
popsicle dry fish.
You put on your potatoes, and you got dry fish. You just eat like popcorn.
Oh, popcorn is very good.
Yes.
But your turfisk, what do you do when you eat it? Describe it for me. I like describing when people eat.
You put it on your tongue and you.
Oh, there's a lot of tongue.
Yes.
Yes. Oh, that's.
Straight down.
Have a drink, Lord, thank you. So this is an example of our role playing in this gothic dark horror adventure.
But we're telling people about not living out our fantasies.
But turfisk, though. Thank you so much. Is this a weird kink that just formed? The turfisk kink. Yeah, new character trait. Leaf as a kink for turfisk.
You got a kink for everything. But yeah.
You got a cake in me.
But the agenda, though, Mr. Metal Man, what is your agenda?
Yes, tell us.
What's next on the agenda?
I'm gonna kill the straw.
Oh, that's a terrifying agenda.
Yes.
What if Strahd kills you?
True.
He won't.
Why not?
Yeah, why not? Because you got me.
Right.
You
Yes.
got a friend in me. You got a friend in me.
Hey, Pepsi, I'm not a cat. Don't show those cat emotes. I'm not a cat.
No cats. Yeah, you will learn Vessel's agenda by watching our Curse of Strahd shows, and you can find previous uploads of my VODs. I have been way too bad at uploading them, but there's at least 13 sessions out on my YouTube channel. So go in there, you'll find a whole playlist of the Curse of Strahd VODs. I will be better at uploading them in the future. Now that I've been becoming better at editing, it will go a lot faster as well. So yeah, go check that out, and you'll get to know these awesome characters, Leaf and Vessel, and we have Gloomsworth, God rest his soul. We have Miles, who's the character of Crow. We have John Martino, the character of Omoli. I love playing with these guys, so I can't wait until next session. But most probably there will be a break for at least a couple of weeks now, because Molly had some exams coming up. I have exams coming up. I am studying a master's degree after all. I kind of forget that from time to time. So that I should focus a bit on. But yeah, we'll be back to it. In the meantime, you guys can catch up on the VODs, and I will upload the VODs. And yeah, I can't wait. Okay, do you guys want to do another question?
Yeah.
Sure.
Let's see. Did Nitrax put in a question? He did. Let me take a look at that. Because Nitrax, you're in chat. Do you have a lot of experience with D&D? Oh, that is a good question. Okay, he has this question. With all your campaigns you've been in, player or game master or DM, what is the most dysfunctional in-game matchup of characters yet? I've been a GM and a player for almost 20 years. Holy crap. That is amazing.
Most dysfunctional matchup?
Like in-game? Yeah, in-game. So not like personal, but like a dysfunctional group of like not like well-balanced group in thought of like classes or roles, you get, I'm thinking.
Well, any party that doesn't have a healer.
Any party that doesn't have a healer, and there's actually a lot. Well, let's talk about this group when it first set its feet in Barovia. We had a rogue, a swashbuckling rogue. We had a gunslinger fighter. we had Blood Hunter, no, and we had a Ranger.
No healers.
No healers, no tanks. And there's a reason after that after Felgrim died, he made a very tanky character. He made a meat shield. There's a reason why we now have a bard who has healing spells or buffs. But then again, we discussed this going into making this campaign as well. Because, yeah, it's good to discuss this at a session 0, to have characters that fill in different roles. It's nice to have a healer and stuff. But then again, the most important part is that you play a character you want to play. And the dynamic between the characters. And then you can multi-class or whatever. And this was also a dangerous campaign, so characters could die, so you could fill in the gaps later. But yeah, I also played in another group. There was a barbarian, a fighter, and a ranger. That didn't go too well either. And another aspect of having a healer or having some kind of a buffer, what do they call it usually? Support class, is that you have to do teamwork then. Like the whole character, the whole deal of having a support class is teamwork. So there's that element.
There is also this stigma about support classes being boring to play, which is not true for D&D.
Mm-hmm.
Because my favorite class to play is a support class.
Yes, Bard.
And it's Bard.
It's Bard, hands down.
Bard. It's the most fun
It's a
class
support debuff class.
But I think the most important thing to do when it comes to this is it's okay for players to play the same class as long as they don't fill the same role.
Yeah, because you have classes and then you have subclasses. So you can have a whole group of clerics, and there's a lot of interesting subclasses of clerics.
You can have 2 fighters in your game. One can be wielding a shield and sword and being up front, and one can wear a crossbow and be in the back. Yeah,
been the dexterous fighter. So yeah, you can be the same class and all that kind of. There's still different builds. So think
to just not do anyone else's job and make them feel less special for being there.
Yeah. And that is also something we worked with, though. We didn't really have we didn't have a healer, but we thought about the skill sets of the players. Do they have all of them have the same skill proficiencies? That's, in my opinion, kind of boring, because that everyone is just gonna do the same thing and be good at the same thing. In a group, it's very makes it a more interesting story and makes for more moments where different players can get their time in the spotlight, get their moments to shine if they have different skill sets.
Yep.
Yeah, and encourage the players to use their skill sets. And also, this is a problem I've been experiencing a lot in Dungeons and Dragons, because naturally you have certain players that they're just natural with it. They take their spotlight. They have like their elbows up. They just naturally takes attention. And also, a very important part of the skill set is, if your character is not proficient in this skill, don't be the one doing it. Try, if you have other players in your party, encourage them to do it.
Well, okay, the thing is, it's incredibly funny to watch someone be bad at something.
That is also very true, of course, but in the team aspect part of it, oh shit, yeah, I have someone in the party that is good, and then it could be a good moment for, you have players that natural takes the room, as I said, and we've been talking about this before as well, and other players can be sitting, they don't really know what to do. Then having that someone, oh, you're good at this, you can do this. They get their moments in the spotlight. It's just an important part of getting everyone participating in what's going on.
Let's say, for example, let's do the door problems again. Let's say there's a door, and you kind of have to break it down. Obviously, you're gonna look to the barbarian.
Yep.
how fun wouldn't it be for the bard to shoulder charge the door and utterly fail at it?
Yeah.
And then have the barbarian do it.
Yeah, like I'm gonna show you how it's done, and that's also important. That's important part of the beginning of a group because they don't know each other, and getting to know each other's strengths and weaknesses by showing it.
I have a rule as a DM when it comes to skill checks and so on, and that is you're allowed to try twice.
Like yeah. So like if you failed, you can try again.
So if you don't break down the door at first try, someone else can try. But if all of them fail at breaking down the door,
Yeah.
you have to try something else. That is my general rule as a DM.
Yeah, you have to try something else, so they like it. Yeah, you don't want to.
Yeah, I mean, if both the bard and the barbarian fail at breaking down the door, maybe ask the rogue if he can picklock it.
Yeah, and that would be the natural thing. Like in real life, if like the entire group, holy crap, none of us could break this door. The logical thing, thinking like this door can't be broken, or you have to get creative. That is when the most creative ideas happen.
Yeah, that's why I have the rule of two when it comes to skill checks.
The rule of two.
Yes.
Nice. Yeah, and if like a proficient guy didn't make it, then it doesn't, because this is also a very common thing in Dungeons and Dragons, and the most like one of the most common roles is doing perception rolls. And like everyone wants to do a perception roll, and then also respecting that when the character, like let's say Leaf's character, he's proficient in perception and stuff, and is very observant, and he was on guard, and he like, I looked through the area, I didn't see anything. As a player, you know he didn't see anything because he fudged the roll. But as a character, having the player come up as the character saying, I didn't see anything, and that other character knows that that person is usually very observant, would respect or trust that observation.
Yep, definitely.
That is like, that can be a hard thing to respect as a player, because like on meta level, you know he fudged the roll. And you want to try again because you know you could succeed, but like just taking the failures and accepting them is an important part of it.
Yep. The most dysfunctional in-game matchup is the love between a barbarian and a rogue, always.
And the rogue?
And the barbarian.
Really? There's a story here.
No, just in any game I've watched, seen, or take Critical Role. It's a perfect example. First campaign. The love and dysfunctional friendship between Grog and what's his name? Liam's character.
Oh,
Vex.
dear lord.
Vex.
Yeah.
Vex. Just, it's perfect.
Yeah.
And that's usually how every relationship between a rogue and a barbarian goes.
True.
It's become a meme at this point.
Yeah. you definitely
And
have.
they will die for each other in combat, and they will kill each other outside of combat.
Okay, let's go for well, Mr. Casual, your question was, how do you start making a campaign? We've delved into that today, haven't we?
We have.
Yeah, definitely have. Leaf, how to RP, please help. We could
Yes.
how to get comfortable
do
RPing.
RP?
That's a great question.
I don't know.
Leaf don't help. He doesn't know. Please help. And that's a good question.
The thing I did when I first started out was I took another character that I already loved and made him my character, so easier. So when I was younger, I was such a huge fanboy of Legolas. So obviously, my first character was a large ranger, and I just played Legolas.
Yep, that is what has helped me a lot with my character as well, and that is something I usually ask my players to do as a helping tool as well. Like find what I call a character template. What do you draw inspiration from? Not only for yourself, but for the group as well, and as me as a DM to get an understanding of your character and using like culture like references for things you know, stories you know, games you played. Most of my characters have been based on that. I played a character. One of my favorite characters was playing. I played a paladin, a great bulky guy with a great axe, slayer of dragons, and I based it on Reinhardt from Overwatch.
Yes.
And it was all for the glory, like that, and that had the voice and everything, because I knew that character so well. That was my main in Overwatch, Reinhardt, and that is also the father. That character is the father of this character, my bard. Son, half elf. That his mother was a tavern wench that my previous character romanced and then left the town. So yeah, based on characters, you know, my character that I play in Equalize campaign is basically Obi-Wan Kenobi, which is another favorite character of mine.
Nice. Hello there.
He's a cyborg fighter.
I'm actually the opposite. I'm more like making this picture of a character, and I'm thinking about how the character is. Like, it's hard to explain, but I don't pick from. I probably have like a library up in my brain that I don't from different characters from all around, but I'm just like imagination. Like when I made Leaf, I was like, okay, I like the Tabaxi race, and I love the class Rogue. And I'm like, okay, so I want to make that, and how can I make this character interesting, for example? So I'm always going back to how is the backstory. I'm starting with a small backstory. I'm starting with all the quirks and
The flaws
what will
and
what would
traits.
trigger him, and what is it burning for, and then I always on my characters put on some weird dialect, and I'm really bad with dialects. The only dialect I know is the Russian one. But
Same.
yeah, that helps me go into a character. Like if I use my normal voice, then it's like it's me.
The only accent I can do now is the Barovian one, and then when I try to do anything else, it just doesn't work.
Yeah. So I don't know. There's different ways. Like Kiwi said earlier that I told her to find some person she already know how to
Impersonate me.
be.
Mhm.
Yeah, impersonate, and she used that in her character, and it was so hilarious, so
Yeah.
great. So just do whatever.
Yeah, and then that is also like when you make a character in a character, I will have an own stream where we like go into the specific how do you create a character in the character sheet, like basically show it in D&D Beyond. How do you go to create a character? And there's a part of that where you choose personality traits, you choose goals, or what is it called? What is it all called? You have like certain goals, you have bonds, like do you have any bonds, and you have flaws, and my favorites are the flaws, the character
I have
flaws.
a lot of them.
Yeah,
10 flaws.
Also the
people
most
like
important-
don't like to have flawed characters. I have a heart for flawed characters, and I like people like just gonna have one flaw. Now I love to have many flaws and issues or phobias or stuff that like a Leaf. I loved like you had a fear of wolves. Which became a big issue in Cursed Strahd. Stuff like that.
Leaf is also an alcoholic, which is also a problem.
Yeah. And this character of mine also, he became an alcoholic because of his love of wine.
That's all. One of the flaws I put in him is one, he's too cocky,
Oh yeah.
and he is also
Confident, overconfident.
yes, but he's also very slow to trust.
Yeah.
Like the scene with what was her name again? The one who died just now.
Oh, Madame Eve.
Madame Eve, yes. I was thinking Madame Ophelia for some reason.
Ophelia.
When we went into the tent, Leslie immediately started to, make sure that it's nothing dangerous in here. And she told him, it's okay, you're safe. And Vessel said, no, I'll be the judge of my own safety.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he's slow to trust, but he's also very cocky. Because
Yep.
I like to think he believes himself as unkillable.
Yeah, he's lived for 400 years.
Yeah.
Or lived. Some aspect.
It could become dangerous because Vessel can put himself in very dangerous situations that could get him killed or broken.
Which is also very, it's very synergetic with being a tank and a meat shield.
Yep. Even though Leaf is now stealing my...
You wanted to charge, but your initiative fudged you, and Labone got a critical. We have a homebrew rule, and homebrew rules have your own homebrew rules. That is important. We have a homebrew rule where if you get a nat 20 on your initiative roll, you get an extra action in your first round, and that Leaf did. So
Leaf wasn't even awake.
he wasn't even. He woke up from a stupor. That was an amazing entrance on the previous session.
Yes. Put flaws in your characters. They make your character, and it makes it so much better to roleplay.
Yeah.
And let them grow.
Yes.
Like after Leaf met all the wolves and the dog and everything in the death house, he was like, when we leveled up first time, I put some extra points in animal handling because of Leaf was like
the interaction
getting more comfortable with the animals around him.
Yeah, level them up in ways that are natural, and that is a great example of a homebrew. The homebrew campaign of Eagle Eye. He started us off at level 0, and which isn't really a thing, but he started us at level 0. We had like an idea of what build we wanted to do. We were like fresh characters. We didn't have a class yet. And depending on our actions in the campaign, we then picked what class we grew into. And also, instead of when we got to level 4, instead of getting the 2 ability points or a feat, he gave us, we could choose a feat depending on what fighting style we had or something we'd done in game. And that was also linked to a tournament that we had been participating in, a fighting tournament. And also depending on our fighting style, we could choose the feat for that and something else as well. And I thought that was amazing. That was so cool. Because then you grow into your character, and your choices you do other ways is how you form your character.
Nice.
That's cool.
Yeah. Shout out for Eagle Eye there.
I want to do like a commoner start to a campaign. That sounds fun.
Yeah, it was awesome, especially if you in a setting where you start off as a commoner. You can start off as a farmer, who just
I had this
caught up in some.
For a campaign that literally started you all are kids or teenagers who live in a village. There's a problem, and you have to as a teenager, you don't have weapons. You maybe have a knife. You maybe have a short bow or something. But people, I had this idea of people having to be oh, I know my dad. He's in the militia. He has a sword that I can steal. We can use this, and do shit like that. And after the first encounter, they could level up into their classes that they wanted to be.
Yep.
And be 5 years later, the next part of the campaign would start. It would be a little older. They would be
Yeah, and that is when they're in the class, and that would be a great way of starting and getting to know the characters a bit, who were before they got. Because every character, even in level 1, you're not a commoner. You're a hero. You have special abilities. You're a superhuman.
It would be is it the movie where they meet up later in life?
Yeah.
Like that. The first encounter is the first It movie, and then a few years later, they're all level 1, and they meet up again to talk about that one time.
That one that they remember. Was that real? Was that devil? Clown? Yeah, that one. Yeah. Oh my god, I'm getting ideas now.
Yeah. This is why you and me, or all of us really, should have
A workshop.
a DM workshop stream.
Yeah, we could do that. Like we try to create a world and try to like set up a game.
We can have like we can have like incarnate open, make maps. We can make homebrew shit. We can make story again.
Yeah, that would be amazing. But now I see. Oh, now this hour went by very fast as well, and now we're getting close to the end of stream, so I'm gonna close this up now. Thank you guys for joining me and the premiere of this Just D&D Chatting show. It was a lot of fun. It was interesting, and it was so much fun seeing the engagement in the chat, getting a lot of great questions from there as well. And we need to draw our giveaway. Did you guys do my request? Did you find a way to let's see how many people there are and see if you can do a dice roll for it?
I don't know how I would do that. The way I used to do it before is like people bought tickets with channel points.
Yeah, I know. I've done one of those giveaways, but since this was a Dungeons and Dragons giveaway, and depending on how many there are, unique character. Let's see. There we have Plastic Gnome. He will be number 1. You know, Silark 2, Crime 3, Pepsi 4, your Leaf, your Labone 5, Captain Bex 6, Telron 7, VS Cosplay 8, Ophelia 9, VQ 10, Molly 12, Miles 13, 14 for Mr. Casual, Nitrax 15. That would work if we had one more, but we had one in. Oh, if we had 16, we could roll 2. No, we couldn't. God damn it! Wait, we have 15 people. Oh, I so wanted to do a dice for this. 15 different entrants if I haven't overchecked this. 15 people participating. How do we do this? I was hoping we could.
There are sites where you can roll like a 1d15.
A D15? Oh yeah, there are. That is easy to do.
Let's do that.
Roll a D15, roll a die. The dice, 15-sided. Yeah, thank you. Okay, are you guys ready? Raynard is my name. Okay, let's go.
Ready in chat? Ready for the last giveaway of today?
Let's have a little heartbeat going up in this.
Giveaway.
Oh, it's number 3. Number 3. Crime as the winner of the dice set giveaway.
Yeah, so I peeked a little.
Crimecraft is the winner.
Nice. Congratulations.
Yeah, and he's an early brewing D&D player as well. Of course, it's crime. It's a crime. This is nerve-wracking. Crimecraft is the winner of the dice set giveaway. But thank you everyone for the contributions with your questions. We have so many questions that we got, and we will be using this questions in the upcoming streams as well. It's been a lot of fun. Okay, guys, do you have anything you want to say to chat before you go?
Play D&D.
Yeah.
Yeah, and watch our show. It's actually funny now.
It's actually funny now. What?
No, but every D&D campaign can be a little bit slow in the beginning. And we are not that far into the story as well. So it's really easy to get in now, I think.
Yeah.
And don't be scared of asking
No.
us anything about what's going on in the role-playing game section in Discord.
The Discord, yeah.
And if you guys are looking for some really fun podcast that is easy D&D to listening to. Dungeon and Daddies. Just listen to it. It's fun. It's fast. It's not like a lot of lore. So if you want to get into D&D, check out our stream and Dungeon and Daddies.
Dungeons and Daddies, yeah, that's a very good recommendation.
It's so fun.
And we also have a lot of other Norwegian streams as well. Rollespillpodden is one of them. Grip Terningen. There's a lot of others like as well. So support local people as well. There's a lot of awesome people out there. So, and yeah, Dicer, thank you for this dice set, the giveaway. If you're Norwegian, go in there, buy your first dice set, buy your 100 dice set, just buy dice. It's nice to buy dice. And now my voice is starting to fail me after 12 hours of streaming. Yeah, guys, I'll see you guys later. I'll go into a Just Chatting stream now. And is it D&D day yet?